Recording. I almost had my notes up, but I didn't. That's on me.
I'm sure there's extensive notes for this film.
I just have some opening bits. I just wanted to say hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Waffle Press movie retrospectives, failed superhero blockbuster season. I'm your host Diego Crespo. With me today is my co-host Matt Garingo,
That's me.
and today we're here to talk about my very first reaction to Yu Yu Hakusho, the anime
Hey.
series from
Oh
1990s
yeah, you know what?
something.
Fuck the movie. Let's talk about that.
Okay, well, we're here to talk about Catwoman. I had a couple possible bits here. I was going to reference Catwoman Hunted, which is a 22 direct-to-video DC movie,
Mhm.
which I have seen. Um, and
Here's a question.
we'll talk about those.
What are the good direct to video the DC, while we weren't paying attention, put out like 50 of those.
Yeah, which I have a tinfoil hat theory about them wanting to just flood the marketplace. Um, I think Under the Red Hood is often considered the very best of the DC
It's
animated
better
stuff.
than the comic it's based on, frankly. And not that the comic is not that that storyline is bad, but I like that movie a little bit better. Um,
Yeah, it hits in certain ways. It's got a couple problems, like all these things do, but it definitely like I remember it was on Netflix, and I had like younger cousins be like, "Have you heard of this one?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, that one's awesome." I don't know if it holds up as awesome. Like it's
yeah.
really been so long since I've seen it, but
Well,
I'm willing to bet there's
It's
some juice behind that one still.
it's Bruce Greenwood as Batman, which is a really good choice.
Yeah. Also, the Batman on Young Justice
Yeah,
at the time.
he's
So
really good. And of course, Jensen Ackles is Jason Todd. I think that might be a good one for people because I don't think a lot of people know who Jason Todd is. In
hmm
terms like outside of comic book fans, right? Like I think people know that Robin died, but they don't like know like all of the context, right? Like, and they definitely don't know
yeah.
who Red Hood is in like the broad strokes.
hmm
That was the thing is when they killed Jason Todd, which people don't know, they Jason Todd was the second Robin, and he got killed in the comics, and it was part of a like the character was like really unpopular, but they decided to like make it a gimmick where at the end of one issue a bomb goes off and you could call in to a like 800 number, and if you called one number he would live, and if you called the other he would die, and it was something like it came within like 32 votes and they voted death, and so
Yeah.
Jason Todd died, and then it hit like the mainstream news, and when that happened, people thought like it was the definitive Robin was killed, right? And
hmm
people freaked the fuck out in like one of those like classic. It was the '80s. People freaked out kind of way. Um, you know Denny O'Neil,
Yeah, they were like
right?
two steps removed from like blaming Satanists or something.
Yeah, you know Denny O'Neil, right? The Batman
hmm
writer and then editor at the time who oversaw. He
Yes.
tells this story that like he used to wear a Batman pin on his jacket whenever he would like go out in like New York because like, they all those guys worked in New York City at the time, and he said he went to some deli after they killed Robin, and he had the Batman pin on, and some guy goes, "Hey, why are you wearing that pin?" And then it goes, "Oh, I'm the editor for Batman." And before he could even finish the sentence, the guy went, "This is the guy that killed Robin." Like, started like got like the whole place mad at him. Oh man, comics are weird.
Comics are very weird. I just want to say there's not a lot of great DC animated movies like in general, but especially now. Like I haven't seen one in probably at least 7 8 years.
Yeah,
Um,
one.
I got excited when they said they were doing Gotham by Gaslight because I fucking love that aesthetic for
Yeah.
Batman. I think that's got a lot of potential that's yet to be fulfilled.
Mm.
And all the DC animated movies are designed the same. They all have the same art style and everything like that. And so it's just kind of like you can't really get as creative as you would if it was a bunch of different like even one issue comics,
Yeah,
which you could bring in different writers and art styles too.
it feels like every now and then they do something a little creative, but not. that often. I think the ones that really don't work, and unfortunately the ones that get adapted a lot, are when they try to adapt some, like when they do All-Star Superman as an animated film, right?
Hmm.
Like that's like a great comic, but you can't, like, it just doesn't work as a cartoon, right? Like it's just nowhere
Hmm.
near as good. Um, or Battle of the Super Sons from 2022. Um, I've been obsessed
Oh
with
yeah, you've
for the
been. I mean,
yeah, I've been obsessed with. I
yeah,
did
you know
not
what
know
I'm saying.
Superman had a son. I did not know Jonathan Kent was now like a main part of the DC universe, and I like been going down a rabbit hole reading about Superman's bisexual son. And so apparently this is him and Damian Wayne when they were kids teaming up. That could be fun. Um, looks like
Oh,
you
I
know.
remember here. This is sort of correlated to the DC animated stuff. Really quickly, I remember the Wonder Woman movie from like 2009. There's
Mm,
a lot of like really cool stuff in it, and a lot of other stuff that's like a little like just people really like writing Wonder Woman as like kind of like naive about the world. I
mm,
think that's a very basic approach. You've criticized that openly before, and I'm
yeah.
very much in line with your criticisms of that. Um, and then like you have Steve Trevor like kind of talk down to her to like hype like so she can like realize the error of her ways and shit like that. And it kind of puts a stink on it, but there's a lot of cool shit there. There's like a hell mouth opening on the White House lawn. Like there's cool shit, but it's just like not quite there. And besides that, um, there's almost no great woman-led superhero movies
Yeah.
ever.
Speaking of which, back to Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yes, which I almost finished the first season. I got to the last arc, literally the start of the last arc,
Nah.
and then Hulu was like, "No more for you." And I was like, "Okay, well, I'll guess I'm getting a Crunchyroll subscription
Uh,
or finding other means to watch it."
yeah, maybe find other means because I think Crunchyroll does like weird stuff with what they stream on there. Like, doesn't make sense. There's a weird. I think I mentioned this to you. For some reason, it was Yu Yu Hakusho was on Netflix, Hulu, and Crunchyroll at the same time at one point, and
Jesus Christ.
they all had different versions of the opening. Like one had the Japanese version, which makes sense, right? Like the
Hmm.
one would have the Japanese. One had the English version, and one had the English version with the Japanese credits. Like I don't know why those were the three distinct versions that were available. Uh, but so wait, what was for what did Hulu classify as the end of the first season um on Hulu? I guess what was starting, what was going down.
Wait, sorry, say that one more time. I was getting a call, so I had to like mute it
Oh,
away.
I was asking, what did Hulu classify as like the end of season one? Um,
It's the arc after they beat the four
Before Saint Beast.
demons. Yeah,
Yeah,
and then the last one starts where it's like, oh, these humans are like they're kind of dealing with like it's like a criminal empire that's dealing in like magic, and they're holding that princess hostage.
yeah, the
They're
Black
using her
Club,
tears.
and like
The
they're
Black
like
Club. Okay,
they
yeah.
all like they all have like demon bodyguards and they gamble on shit. Like,
Okay,
um,
yeah, that fucking rules.
no, yeah,
Yeah, I
that's
really like the show. It's fun.
that.
It's super fun.
The sad thing is that is like right when it's about to kick into like amazing territory. Like that's the prelude to the Dark Tournament arc, which is the best tournament arc arguably in anime history.
Okay, okay, because I there was that first tournament arc, and I was like, this is really fun. With the little old lady who's like
And
super
yeah,
powerful,
Genkai rules.
Genkai. Yeah,
She's
she's fun.
just
Super
hitting
fun.
Yusuke in the head.
Yeah.
Um, no, I like that Yusuke's whole thing, especially in the early episodes, is just he's too dumb to die. Like all of his techniques are just like he does the dumb move, but he can't like he that works in his favor. Which yeah, no. Yu Hakusho is amazing, everyone. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm glad you're liking it. Because I think it's great.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it because I'm not like in love with it, but it is really entertaining, and I'm really glad I started watching it.
Yeah,
And yeah, everyone's telling me it gets better as it goes along now, basically. So
yeah.
yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting back to that.
Like I said, the Dark Tournament and then Chapter Black, which are the two like core arcs of the show, and they're back to back. Those are like two of just the best arcs in anime, in my opinion. And it's just that thing of like, I
Hmm.
think. I always say this, like Dragon Ball Z, Yu Yu Hakusho was what you wanted Dragon Ball Z to be in terms of the action, right? Like Dragon Ball
Hmm.
Z dragged every fight like twice as long as it should have been, like every fight just kept lasting forever. And Yu Yu Hakusho rarely makes a fight last longer than it should. Um,
Hmm.
and also like there was that weird need it felt like on Dragon Ball Z where the more powerful the enemy, the longer it took to beat them, right? Like, so the
Yeah.
fights just got longer, but not necessarily more engaging. Whereas Yu Yu Hakusho, you will get to like the big fights, and they will still just be like 2, maybe 3 episodes, and they're totally satisfying. Um, so look forward to that because it's the best.
Yeah, I am. You know what? Here's a segue that I didn't have in mind. Because Catwoman feels like a really bad live action anime adaptation in a lot of ways. Because there's a bunch of, I'm going to say this, there's a bunch of fucking style. The editing is borderline experimental, and it feels
Borderline
like there's a
experimental.
mistranslation happening here.
Yeah. Uh,
Um,
it's the
and
I to me, this is like post Matrix stink still. Like we're still in that post Matrix world where everyone wants to be in Matrix.
1000%.
Yeah. Like Matrix was like the one that was able to like do like we just want to do fucking oh what's that anime called? Ghost in the Shell but live action, right? Like they were like let's just do that action and it worked. And then everyone tried to imitate it and it sucked. And when does that die?
Yeah, that's
I
what
think
this movie felt like.
we've had this discussion, but when does that die? Like when is the Matrix aesthetic is officially dead? Um, I think it's like this isn't the point where it's like dying.
Avengers?
Like no, because it's definitely already dying by this point. Because like once Spider-Man 2 hits, that's when it's like this is what people want. Like everything was Spider-Man 2 for a little bit. It was everything was
Mm,
Spider-Man 2 and Pirates of the Caribbean for just like a little bit. And this is like one of those where this was clearly just in production for too long and they didn't know what to
yeah,
do.
yeah.
This could be it.
Well,
Um,
Well, yeah, okay, cool. So it was in production a long time. I think most people know this now, but like they wanted to spin off Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman after Batman Returns because Batman Returns is one of the fucking best movies of all fucking time.
although it was
And
not
even if people didn't
received
recognize it back then,
not
everyone
received
loved
that
her.
way at the time. Um, it was not that well liked at the time. Um,
No, but we know.
I'm looking just to go back to my point. I think like this is the death throes where it's like Aeon Flux is the next year, right?
Oh,
Um,
jeez, yeah,
and
that
then
poor movie.
Ultraviolet, um, which does anyone even remember Ultraviolet with Mila Jovovich? Um,
The vulgar auturists do.
yeah, but
I can't reach them on that one though.
but I
I can't
do.
get there.
But speaking of the vulgar alteration, I think that's what happened. I think this Matrix aesthetic just went right into trash territory, into being in the like Resident Evil sequels and the Underworld films, right? Like
Yeah,
that's just where it went.
and frankly, at the time, also, the way the Matrix sequels were received, I think
Yeah,
people were just like, "Oh yeah, this was like this worked once with the Matrix, and that's it."
yeah, it didn't help how those went through. And then I think it took until kind of John Wick recently to bring this stuff back, right?
Hmm.
Like
Yeah,
John Wick feels like a genuine attempt to be like, let's do it, but good this time.
yeah. um,
But
yeah, Catwoman's it's not good. And I don't want to. This is a notorious bomb. It's often cited as one of the worst movies ever made, if not the worst superhero film ever made. And I don't want to just like harp on that too long. It's not good. God bless Halle Berry, um, who is uh, one of our great actresses,
yeah,
and
and
could have been a really fun Catwoman.
this is like right after her Oscar win too, right? Like she has that weird she wins the Oscar and then like makes a bunch of weird choices, right? Like
Hmm.
that don't totally work out. Um did she get divorced recently? Was she the one that like was getting cheated on or something? Or was that a different person?
Uh, she got divorced back in like 2016, 2005, and
Okay,
1997.
okay, never mind. I
And
was probably thinking of
yeah,
someone else.
yeah.
Um,
Because one of her exes, I forget which one. It was some asshole was like, well, we broke up because she didn't want to be like a stay-at-home wife. She didn't
mm,
really want to raise the kids and stuff. You know, she wanted to go out and work, and I didn't agree with that. And it's
yeah,
like, well, yeah, man, like,
yeah. I'm looking.
yeah,
She wins Monsters Ball in 2001, right?
mhm.
She wins that, and that's that weird one where she's in X-Men 1, but like Storm kind of has like four lines in X-Men 1, and then in X-Men 2, it's like you're clearly the next leader of the team, and it's like, well, why is that? It's like because you won an Oscar. Like, it's
Yeah.
that, but like she does like it's Monsters Ball, then Die Another Day, where she's Jinx, which they were also trying to spin off into her own thing, um, and then Catwoman, and then it's like I think X-Men: The Last Stand is kind of when it's done, right? And then she's just not like a
Mhm.
mainstream actress anymore, you know? Uh, and she like disappears for a little bit, and then she's been like popping back up lately. And she's in a movie that was never
Yeah.
released. What?
What movie?
Something called The Mothership. Uh, it looks like it was like a Netflix thing. Like something went wrong with Netflix. Um,
Oh. Oh no.
is that one?
Um.
There's a guy who's like kind of been I think there was like lawsuits surrounding that. I think it was kind of a big deal.
Mm,
I can't remember all the details, but yeah, it's something that they apparently shot. Uh, and his I'm looking at his Wikipedia, and it looks like it was written by him. So I'm gonna pivot away from that idiot.
okay.
But
But I want to say about Halle Berry's like multiple spin-off franchises that did and didn't come to fruition. Like, I think that's just telling of her star power. That it's like, no, you can lead this. Now they are spin-offs because we're racist and sexist as an industry. So you don't get your own original franchise.
yeah,
But hey, how about be the face of our side franchises?
do you remember how weird people were about Halle Berry in the 2000s? Like, because she's like
Like that she
naked
wasn't a good actress.
no, she was naked in Swordfish, and that was like something that was like newsworthy. Like
Oh, okay.
that movie, how much did Swordfish make? Swordfish made 140.
$5.
No, Swordfish made 147 million on a $100 million budget, and I'm gonna say 147 million dollars are entirely because of Halle Berry being naked in that movie. Like
Okay.
that was
You said we should do that movie sometime. So I
Swordfish.
guess I gotta.
I'm so fascinated with it in terms of how bad it is. Like
Hmm.
it's a Dominic Senna joint. Like it's one of those like hacking. Oh, I think it's her. Oh God, I hope it's not her. It might be her. I think she gives Hugh Jackman a blowjob while he's hacking a computer. Like, I think that's part of like testing how good a hacker he is. Can he still do it while he's getting a blowjob? Um,
Fucking pre 9/11 was crazy.
yeah, it's literally like 2 months before 9/11,
God.
and
We used to be a fucking country.
I think Travolta is a Mossad agent. Like,
Oh my god.
and he's like bad, but we're kind of supposed to be like, oh, but he's like a cool bad. I think that's what that movie's supposed to be. Like, but it is a movie about blowback of like foreign policy, like coming back and like now we're blowing ourselves up in order to fight terrorism overseas. But I think the movie kind of ends with a like, yeah, and the ends justifies the means, or it was just trying to be sequel bait. I can't really tell. Uh, that is the I think I've talked about this. The reason I want to do Swordfish, and I'm just going to do it here, is because it has the most overconfident opening of any movie I've ever seen, where Travolta's talking directly into the camera about how movies are boring because they're unpredictable. Like, I mean, because they're predictable, like they're safe, they don't push the envelope. And he brings up Dog Day Afternoon as an example.
That's fucking
Yeah,
goddamn.
and he's like,
What a swing.
here's how I would have done Dog Day Afternoon. And it's like a dumb. It feels like the '90s comic book version of Dog Day Afternoon. And
And also, Dog Day Afternoon is just something that actually happened.
yeah, that's the other thing.
Like,
He seems to totally not know that element of it. Like, and he's like, yeah, probably Lumet's best work, but it's like a morality play, right? And it's like he gets the whole point of the movie wrong. And then it like zooms out and it's like he's talking to Don Cheadle because this is a hostage crisis because he's got bombs attached to people and they're robbing a bank just like fucking the movie. And yeah.
wow. Yeah, I can't wait to do that movie someday.
Yeah, there's no reason to ever do it, but we'll do it.
Yeah, fuck it. Um, does it have that like early 2000s sort of like metallic,
Yeah,
like high contrast look? Because Catwoman
yeah,
kind of has that too. There's so much fucking orange and teal in here.
yeah. It's
Or, like,
doing the
I forgot. Like that was really the whole thing back then.
like this is what Mexico looks like lighting, except for all of the southern United States.
No, you know
And
what? I prefer that. That's
no,
fine. That's fine.
I'm fine with that too. Like whatever. If we're gonna make a foreign country look like piss, we might as well make our country look like piss because it does. But it is yeah. It has a bullet time, except it's with a bomb moment in the beginning. Like they do like a spinning camera after a bomb full of ball bearings explodes, so we see like everyone going everywhere and all the people flying through the air in slow motion as the camera spins around. Uh, Believe it or not, that CGI look is dated.
You know what? I could go out on a limb and believe that.
Yeah,
I absolutely could.
um, yeah, Swordfish bad movie. I don't even. Why is it called Swordfish? I don't even know. I've seen that movie like 5 times, and I can't even tell you why it's called Swordfish.
Well, can you tell me why Catwoman's called Catwoman in this movie?
Cause like the spirit of like Egyptian cats like revive her.
Yeah, yeah. And there's a whole scene where they break down the lineage, or they explain that there's been a lineage of Catwomen throughout history, and
It
you get
feels
your Michelle Pfeiffer cameo in a photo.
yeah, this feels very forward thinking in terms of like we're doing what the franchises do, where they want to revitalize a bunch of old products. They where
Yeah.
actually you're part of the legacy of the thing. Um, what 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 what? Here's where's the all right. Another thing this movie really suffers from is that it's 1 year before Batman Begins, right? So it's 1 year
Yeah.
before Christopher Nolan goes like, we can just do a guy as a superhero, right? Which studios were like, no, but you gotta have cat powers, which was
Hmm.
clearly, I mean, that's even in Batman Returns where she has like 9 lives and gets like licked by a bunch of cats, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Very
But at
odd.
least Tim Burton knew enough to be like, we're not explain like that's just what happens.
Yeah,
Here's cat stuff related to it.
yeah.
The character dimensions are there regardless.
But it's such a weird thing they did with Catwoman a few times, and it's just like literally Catwoman is called Catwoman because she's a cat burglar who dresses up like a cat. Like that's it.
Yeah.
There is nothing that complicated in terms of the setup of who Catwoman is, right? She's an anti-hero type character, um, and for some reason the studio was like, no, we can't. Why make it simple? Like
Yeah.
I think there might be some sexism at play here of just being like, no one could believe a woman could do this on her own. She got to have been licked by a bunch of cats.
No, there totally is, and I think this explains a lot of the mentality of studios at the time when they're making these franchises. And I want to give Halle Berry a little more credit. Like she was recently asked, like, "Oh, like, would you come back as Catwoman?" Like, just like whatever cheeky fandom questions that don't really mean anything. But
Yeah.
Halle Berry's such a fucking pro. She like goes along and she looks like she's having a good time. And she's like, what went wrong back then was that, like, we didn't realize we could have these female characters saving the world. They didn't realize they could put these female characters in these like other situations. And I don't know if I entirely agree with that. And I'm sure she would have a better answer in a like a better environment. But it did make me think about like look at fucking what happened with Die Another Day, right? Like notoriously disreputable Bond movie, although it was a hit at the time financially.
Yeah, that one made money.
Um,
Like, unlike this
Lee
movie.
Tamahori, the director, him and the Broccolis, I think they saw either Born. I think it's Born. Around Die Another Day when that
Mm.
came out,
And they were like,
and
oh,
they
fuck.
and no, he told them like you guys need to like the game's changing fast. You guys need to rethink this next time.
Yeah.
And similar to the Catwoman thing, it's like, why it's so big? Why is it so fucking big?
Mm.
And again, not to even dissuade anyone from thinking Halle Berry's off the cuff point. Again, off the cuff completely, I'm sure.
Mm.
Like that, not that you can't have Catwoman saving the world in like the right story, right? Like, sure, why not? Like that's Batman saves the world all the fucking time. It's just like, why is it so big? Like
Yeah.
everything's so big, and it's so big, and it's so stupid so fast.
Yeah,
You
I don't know
know?
what the logic is, why this is the story they wanted to tell with Catwoman, right? Like, I just don't. It's baffling.
Mm-hmm. It's like, a fucking heist movie with Catwoman sounds kind of cool, you know? Like, people like the Gotham City Sirens. Like, you do something there, you know?
Yeah, but this is still that like last kind of era where we're the only ones that would give a shit about that, right?
No, sure.
Of
Yes. No,
like
absolutely.
this is
Yeah.
the last era, and even then, cut to however many years ago, like now, like right before the pandemic hits, where it's like they're doing like the Birds of Prey movie is like so fumbled in terms of its release, right? Where
Mm-hmm.
like studios like got privy enough where they're like, clearly people want this stuff, but we don't know why people want it, right? Like they clearly don't. That was the big problem, I think, in terms of the pivot to like we saw like that brief boom of like female led action movies, right? Like and then like we're
Mm-hmm.
doing Ghostbusters but with women now, right? That I
Mm-hmm.
think the issue that really happened there was that people clearly wanted female led movies, but none of the people actually making the movies understood why people wanted it and what they wanted to see, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so they end up like turning feminism into like buzzwords, right? And which just makes everyone annoyed. Like it makes the sexists annoyed and it makes the feminists annoyed, you know? And then it feels like you're pandering and stuff. And then like you watch something like Birds of Prey and it's like Birds of Prey is just a good movie, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
there is a feminist bent to it, but it is not the like cringe version of it that I think we saw a lot of towards the end of the 2010s, right?
Yeah.
Of
No, I mean, Birds of Prey specifically, I think really has like its finger on the pulse regarding a lot of that stuff. And of course, I'm like a man, so like maybe I'm sure I'm missing something here.
yeah,
But I always think of like the beats in the middle of like the third act showdown when they're getting away from all the different gangs and stuff like that. And like Black Canary is like headbutt someone or something like that and kicks someone, her hair's going all over the place. And I think it's Harley Quinn who gives her like something to hold her hair back, and she's like, "Oh, thanks." It's just in the middle of the fight, you know. It's not like
yeah.
commented on. It's not like, "Thanks, girlfriend." It's like, "Yeah, like this is a problem. I got a lot of hair. We're fighting a lot of people. There you go. Boom.
Mm.
2 seconds of screen time, but it tells you like how well they're working together." And it's like, yeah, someone with short hair wouldn't have that problem.
Yeah.
Not that only women have long hair, but specifically this character. So I don't know. I always think about that moment where I'm like, oh yeah, like women were probably in charge of a lot of this movie.
Yeah, yeah, that's like the one you can kind of feel that with, right? Like, but there's been a lot of. Although I know everyone disagrees with me with that, but I have a soft spot for the Captain Marvel movie because I do feel like that had a little bit more going on to it. But I understand that production was really fucked up, like, and then the Marvels was like no one saw it, so.
Yeah,
Um,
I like that first Captain Marvel as well. I've still not seen the Marvels.
mm.
You and I are both big Nia DaCosta fans.
Yeah,
But yeah, I like that first one quite a bit. I think it's one of the better origins, especially after that first Avengers movie.
well, the one, and this is again, I think one where it was a good female superhero narrative that didn't like fumble it in terms of making. I always say like don't turn your like message into buzzwords. Like you don't want to do that. Like that's always been my when I think they fumble it because it's a very good narrative about like a woman not realizing how powerful she really is. Like that's the plot of Captain Marvel, right? And I think it's
Hmm.
a really unique story to do with a female superhero, and I'm glad they did that story. Then, of course, people had a lot of really dumb complaints when they watched it.
She doesn't have a personality. And it's like, well, look, we can discuss all the live long day about the shallowness of a lot of these female characters in those big budget superhero movies for sure. I think it's perfectly acceptable that the first Captain Marvel movie, and possibly the only Captain Marvel movie at this point, is about her, like you said, coming into her own. So she herself is rediscovering her own identity. Like that's not a flaw with that narrative.
Yeah,
That is the
I
narrative
get why
decision.
people
You
brush
can
up.
be unhappy with that,
Yeah,
but it is not the movie's like it's not an issue. That movie is trying to do that.
no, I see that problem, and like I get why people because she's like kind of a boring soldier. Like that's her character, really, right? Like that she's a boring soldier at the start of it, and it's about her kind of discovering that she's more than that. And that's not necessarily the most engaging character. Like, I get why some people brush up against it. I have more like the dumb claims people like, she stole that guy's motorcycle, what a dick move. And I'm like, that's literally something every action hero has ever done ever. Like,
Yeah.
what are we talking
Yeah,
about?
it's Terminator and Terminator 2,
Yeah,
like
yeah. Can't let you take the man's wheels, son. That's my favorite line in Terminator 2.
oh, that's your favorite one
Yeah, no,
out
fuck.
of that entire
Yeah,
2.5 hour
yeah.
long movie.
No favor will we make for ourselves. Fuck that. No, can't let you take the man's wheels, son. That guy's amazing. That dude, look, that dude just saw an entire bar get destroyed by this guy. Like, he just saw the most insane thing he's ever seen, and it's still like, nah, you can't take the bike. That's humiliating. He fucking took a stand, man. Like, it's an incredible moment in cinema. But yeah, it's you know what the other issue is. I think this goes back to comics. When a female character was written well, the moment that character was in the hands of a different writer, it often like tanked immediately, right? Like
hmm
there was that just happened a lot because there weren't a lot of great because comics at the time were written almost exclusively by men, right? There aren't a ton from the 60s and 70s era, and then like only a couple of them were actually good at writing women. And even then, they usually wrote their women very similarly, right? Uh,
hmm
Someone like Chris Claremont, right? Like Claremont, Claremont. Part of the reason why the X-Men hit, which no one really talks about, because it's too woke of an opinion, but like that was one of the first series that was like, let's have the women be on equal footing with the men, right? It was like they treated the women characters like real people, and it was a big crossover hit, and that's why the X-Men became the biggest Marvel comic for like 15 years, right? Like
Yeah.
the X-Men popularity was massive, and even then Claremont was like, yeah, but I want any excuse to get the women characters in like leather bondage and shit like and dominatrix outfits, like. uh, Although he did that to the guys too. Claremont had a lot going on.
That's a quality right there.
Yeah, Claremont had a lot. Do you know Mystique was supposed to be Nightcrawler's father?
What?
So Chris Claremont's original idea, because part of why X-Men, the other reason why the X-Men comics were so big was that there were so many mysteries that were going on. Like, why is fucking Professor X going around Egypt all the time? What is the origin of Wolverine? Stuff that wasn't
hmm
explained until like the 2000s, basically. And this was a comic that was started running in '75, the Claremont era of it, anyway. And one of them was, who is Nightcrawler's father? That was like a big mystery. And Claremont's original idea was that Mystique was going to be the father. Like, we didn't know who Nightcrawler's parents were, but Mystique was going to be the father because they're both blue, right? And Mystique was going to have turned into a man and impregnated a woman at some point during the story. And I guess Marvel was like, we can't do this. This was like the 80s. Like Chris, we can't do that. But that's a much
if
better twist. That's because I think at
it
the end it
it
just ended up
is,
being a random demon or something. Like it was something dumb.
wasn't it?
Um,
I think in was Azazel? Am I losing my fucking
I
mind?
think
Was it
it was it's
Azazel?
it's the infamous Chuck Austin run of X-Men, which is like considered like the worst run of X-Men comics ever.
Okay,
Uh,
yeah, Azazel.
yeah, poor Chuck Austin had to take over post Grant Morrison, like, and Grant Morrison like leaving in disgust at the end of All New X-Men, right? Like that whole
hmm
kerfuffle. Um, but yeah, it's that. I think that's when it's revealed, and it's just that guy. But I would go back and just be like, we were lying. It was Mystique. Like, fuck it, like, because that's a
And because
much.
it's comic book shit, you would still have to kind of bend it over backwards. Be like, it was Mystique as Azazel,
Yeah,
and
why
it's
not?
like, all right, sure, whatever. It's
Sure,
still,
it would have been awesome. Do it,
yeah.
people. But yeah, it's like Claremont's been doing that a little bit. Like, he's kind of been doing some George Lucas shit where he's like, I always intended this, and you don't know to believe him. But also, unlike George Lucas, when he usually goes, I actually intended this. A lot of times you go like, yeah, it does actually sound like a bad idea.
They're like, hey, if it works, I ain't gonna question it, you know?
Even though Claremont, when he like finally came back to the X-Men stuff, it wasn't very good. Like his run is incredible until they kick him off unceremoniously at the beginning of the '90s. Um, they kicked him off and they didn't even like announce it. Like he'd been on
Jesus.
the X-Men books. His run, I believe his run on X-Men is the longest single run a writer has done in comics ever. He worked on a single series longer than Stan Lee and Jack Kirby combined. Like it was something insane like that, and they just unceremoniously kicked him off it, and then no, there was no announcement that it had happened. Um, so good on you, Marvel. Uh,
Yeah.
some great
Matt, can
stuff.
you tell me how many female-led superhero films there are?
Off the top of my head, no, but I can tell you the number of Wikipedia pages I opened.
Okay, sure, go do that one.
This is I stopped before the Marvel Revolution, so I didn't do that.
Okay.
So this is all stuff like kind of in the '90s, 2000s. Aeon Flux from 2005, based on the MTV cartoon from Liquid Television, of which was
Hmm.
really just like a weird avant-garde series. It's crazy that that got made into a movie. Directed by Karen Kusama. Um,
Yeah, who had a very difficult time making that movie.
yeah,
She will
from what
never go back to big budget stuff ever again.
yeah, I've heard it was really bad.
Yes.
I've heard stories about that one that it
Yeah.
was
A shame.
very
Terrific director.
yeah. She should go back, but it won't happen. Barbed Wire, based on everyone's favorite character, Barbed Wire.
Yep.
Uh, Barbed Wire. I'm trying to. I have no idea who Barbed Wire is. I've never even seen the movie Barbed Wire. Um, this looks like a dystopian future where she's like a just I'm just going to use the parlance of the times, a babe with a gun. Um, Chuck Farr wrote the script, who has written some of the worst movies I've ever seen. Uh, he wrote the comic and I think the screenplay for Virus. Remember Virus
Mm,
with Jamie Lee
I do
Curtis?
remember Virus.
That's one of those ones they
Yeah.
should remake because I love that premise and the movie is just dog shit. But monsters look cool in it. They don't know how to film it, but the monsters do look cool. Barbed wire. I don't think this is listed anywhere on the Wikipedia page. It is not. But when I met the oh god, what's his name? I can't remember the name off the top of my head. When I met um, Adam Rifkin, director Adam Rifkin, on the set of Penn Teller's movie. Penn Jillette's movie, director's cut. Adam Rifkin talked about that he was actually the original director on Barbed Wire and shot for 3 days and got fired.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
and
Poor
said
guy.
that he basically knew he was going to get fired. Like that, like according to him, and I wish I could remember the details. I don't remember what story he told, but he was like, I knew I was like they were setting me up to get fired. Like whatever was going on, he was like, I knew I was going to get fired, and I shot 3 days, basically knowing that none of it would be used, and I was fired. Like, so I don't know what the story. I can't remember what the story was, but that happened. So
Oh, poor guy.
Black Scorpion. Anyone remember Black Scorpion, starring
No,
Joan
that's a Corman movie,
Severance?
though, right?
Yeah, it was Corman, and then they made it into a series. It was like a Corman like direct to TV thing, and then yeah, and then it's they used to air it on the Sci-Fi Channel all the time. Like that's a very classic. Like she's a detective who becomes a crime fighter at night. Like it's very straightforward, and it's kind of crazy. It was made in, like '95 with such a straightforward plot like that. It's crazy to think they just wouldn't do a superhero plot that's just that, right? Like everyone's
Hmm.
gonna have such a gimmick now,
Yeah.
but that's actually fights crime. Dark Angel. Have you seen Dark Angel?
No, that's a full moon
Full
pictures thing,
Moon,
right?
and it's one of those that's like it's actually pretty fucking good. Uh,
Oh, okay, one
yeah,
of those. Because I have a huge soft spot for Full Moon, and I like a lot of their stuff. I've talked up the Puppet Master franchise quite a bit, and most of those are bad, but I like
yeah.
them. So,
Yeah, it's good. It was directed by a woman who I don't think directed anything ever again. It's basically like a demon superhero, a demoness,
Hmm.
which is basically just an excuse to get her to dress like a sexy demon. But it's a pretty fucking good movie. Like I'm looking at Letterboxd right now, and fucking Abby gave it 4 stars, and Abby doesn't like anything.
That's not true. Abby likes things.
Abby doesn't like anything. She told me in
Why are you
private.
picking a fight?
I'm just telling the truth. Abby doesn't like anything.
Abby likes us.
That's up for debate. Notice I've called her out like 7 times on this podcast, and I've never heard anything about it. So she doesn't like us enough to listen to the show.
It's fine. That's fine.
Look, like I went to Abby's fucking letterbox. She recently just gave the Virgin Spring 2.5 stars. So Abby doesn't like anything.
Uh,
Uh,
I believe
um,
Abby gave The Last Boy Scout 3 stars, but also noted that she completely understood why people loved the movie. It just wasn't for her.
yeah, Abby's more reasonable than I'm making her out to be. So
Yeah.
I'm just having some fun here because I also know she'll never hear this episode. But back to other shit. Painkiller Jane, based on the comic book character created by Joe Quesada and Jimmy Palmiotti. Uh-oh. Remember them?
Yeah, everyone's favorite.
You know, Painkiller Jane was the TV movie was written by Don Keith Opper, who is that guy who's in all the Critters movies.
God, whatever happened to the Critters franchise?
Back like a few years ago, they did something.
Yeah, but they made them like on the cheap. It's like those budgets they had back in the 90s.
Hmm.
They kept those budgets but didn't adjust for inflation. Sorry, you were talking about uh, women-led superhero films.
Yeah, we had a bit of a break, and I for some reason I have the Critters 4 Wikipedia page open. Oh yeah, Painkiller Jane was what I was talking about. Um, this is like this. There's such a weird era where like it was like the sexy assassin was really popular for a bit, right?
Hmm.
Like that's probably like everyone wanted to write Black Widow. All right, here's something. What was your idea of Black Widow before the Avengers?
Not sexy assassin in the way that we think of, like with John Wick and stuff. And I know that might sound crazy, but John Wick is kind of sexy.
Mm.
But you get, or I wouldn't have thought Bond movie sexy in the same way. You know what I mean? But
Clearly
pre
had an
Avengers,
impression. She clearly left an impression on a lot of teenagers starting in the 70s, right?
yeah, for me, the introduction of Black Widow was either in like video games where she kind of had like a cameo basically,
Mm.
or like that Avengers show, Earth's Mightiest Heroes that people like worship, and I'm like, it's pretty good, for what it is.
I've never
But stuff
seen
like
it.
that, I
I've
was
never.
never, yeah. It's pretty cool. I think people are very fond of it for being very like comic accurate and true to the characters, and maybe that's it's no Batman the animated series. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Animation looks
uh,
interesting, but it only lasted like two
yeah,
seasons.
yeah, not their fault. That was one of the fucking the Marvel buyout shit that fucked up like all the shows and stuff that was going on at the time. So
Yeah.
not their fault. But anyways, point being, I didn't have the idea of Black Widow that we all know and understand now back then, like especially pre Iron Man 2.
The Wikipedia page for Black Widow is way more extensive than you would think it is. Um, there's a whole section for themes and motifs, and the two sections under that are communism and Russophobia, and feminism and
Okay.
sexuality. Black Widow was the first solo female superhero created by Marvel Comics. Unlike most superheroines in the 60s, she was not created to be a love interest or a female derivative of a male character. And she was not created to fulfill a motherly or domestic role. That last one's that was huge in the 60s for Marvel. That a lot of their women
Hmm.
characters fit into that. Um,
Yeah, I
so,
mean, even fucking Mrs. Fantastic Sue Storm, you know,
yeah,
like,
she was like basically a mother figure in those.
yeah.
So, um, Well, all right. I don't know. I don't know what the thing is with Black Widow because it's hard to tell now in a post Avengers world what the popular opinion was on Black Widow, who I just feel like wasn't really talked about a ton before then.
No, I mean
So,
that seems like one of the characters. If sexism was significantly less prevalent, that you could adapt into like a sort of exploitation action movie mode. You know,
yeah, yeah, totally.
we'll
Um,
get back to that someday. We got some other stuff lined up.
in 2006, we
But
get Ultraviolet with Mila Jovovich. Um, 95, we had Tank Girl.
yeah,
Remember Tank Girl?
yeah, directed by
Fu-
Rachel Talalay.
Yeah, who made the worst Freddy film.
Yeah,
But Tank Girl's fun.
sorry. I like Tank Girl.
Yeah, Tank Girl's actually a pretty fun fucking movie.
Yeah, and
Like,
she directed a bunch of Doctor Who. So
good for her.
yay.
And Tank Girl comic is fun. You'll recognize the aesthetic because the one guy went on to do Gorillas. It's the same look, right? Um,
Hmm.
Tank Girl's one of those big indie comics from that era. It's shocking that Tank Girl got a movie before Wonder Woman. All of these characters I'm listing got a movie before Wonder Woman. Just
Yeah,
fucking stop
fucking
and
hell.
think about what we were doing wrong.
My Super Ex Girlfriend, an
I
original
have that. I
superhero.
have that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Wow.
unless Grant Morrison's a fan of that movie.
Okay, good for them.
$60 million made. Oh no! All right, $30 million budget made 60 million. So that broke even basically. But I remember that movie being like despised when it came out.
Yeah, and I remember being like, it was okay,
I've
and
never
then
seen
I
it.
haven't thought about it since.
She throws a shark through his window.
Oh, 'cause she's like a bitter ex girlfriend, right?
Yeah. Well, that's what's weird is that like she's a bitter ex girlfriend, and it's like that is one of those good examples of like imagine the role reversal if it was a male superhero and a female love interest, right?
It becomes
Like
a horror
that's
movie immediately.
yeah.
It's not
This is
funny.
it. It's abuse. It's not funny.
Yeah.
So it's a weird setup for a comedy. There was a rash of those in that like late 2000s era of just the woman stalker comedy film
Mm-hmm.
that was just like, isn't it cute? She's obsessed with him, and it's like that's not cute.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's lots of talk about like, oh man, what happened to the studio comedy? And it's like, there's so many unjustified reasons for why those died out, and they're struggling to make a comeback now. And also, holy fuck, there were a lot of bad ones. Like,
Yes.
it's not those movies' responsibility to kill something or bring back something, but like, there was some fucking dog shit then.
100%.
Oh,
We had a oh, go
there's
ahead.
another group of superhero films that I want to mention just really quickly.
Mm.
These are from the great Johnny Toe, the Heroic Trio, which is a
Yeah.
fucking awesome action movie, and Executioners, the sequel, which is like very flawed, but like crazy enough to be like, yeah, I guess if you liked Heroic Trio, give it a shot.
Yeah,
It's
it's got good action, so that's
yeah.
fun. But I also the Japanese superheroes are different. Like I don't know enough about Japanese culture and history to be like to compare like their female-led movies to ours, or even like I'm just Asian, I guess I should say. That's
Yeah,
a
well,
little
that's
too.
Hong Kong specifically.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
I was a little too specific. So I was thinking I've had Power Rangers on the brain, so like my
hmm.
my mind immediately went there to Super Sentai. But like I don't know much about the history of Asian superheroes in terms of female representation, right? Like I don't know how that works because it feels like it's a little more common over there, right? Um,
Well,
but I'm not.
if not superheroes, at least like action hero roles, because you got
Yeah,
like Michelle Yao starring in Yes, Madam in like the 1980s. You know?
yeah, and it's like Cynthia Rothrock had to go over there to like make movies, right?
Yeah.
She wasn't as successful in the states. Um, But so you get like get like anime like Sailor Moon's a superhero, right? Like
Yeah, basically.
I mean she's 100% a superhero. She's got like a secret identity. She's got powers. Like she's got a team, right? Uh, something to do with the moon. I don't know how the powers work. It doesn't make a total sense. She's fighting demons a lot, and it's always like weird gimmicky demons, like where it's like this lipstick is actually stealing the life force of teenagers because it makes them feel bad about their bodies or something. And that's a classic superhero plot.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Yeah. I don't have enough knowledge of that perspective
Yeah,
on
so
female superheroism,
and
unfortunately.
and it feels like a lot of the like Super Sentai teams, like a lot of those team shows tended to have like women on the team, so it wasn't like totally abnormal. But yeah, um, over
Fucking
here we got
Hollywood.
over here we got Witchblade, a TV movie for Witchblade, which led into the TV series, which lasted like 1 year, I think.
Oh, what a banger!
Remember
I have
Witchblade?
no idea. I've never seen it. I've never seen it.
Witchblade was one of those. I think it's connected to Image, Top Crow Comics, which is Top Cow Comics. I mean, under Image, from Mark Silvestri. It's got like 7 people credited on it. So,
That's
um,
always a good sign.
yeah, it's been long running. It's up to 209 issues. Uh, Having started publishing in '95. That's pretty good. And I know Witchblade like crosses over with a ton of shit. I think fucking Evil Dead crossed over with Witchblade at some point, but Evil Dead crossed over with everything at some point. Um, it's like something with like a magic hand or something. It's like a witch hand or something with like a
Oh,
gem in it,
okay.
and it like attaches to the woman's body, and then it turns her into a superhero that conveniently is a very sexy outfit. Um, but hey, that was big in the '90s.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's why the '90s were the best. Am I right?
Hey, we got the Jim Wynorski directed Vampirella movie, which I guess falls under superhero.
Yeah, which I've never seen.
It's bad.
No, that's a shame.
It's you know Vampirella's like an alien.
What? No,
Vampirella's
that
like
was
a
a vampire.
she's an alien from a vampire planet where if I believe
When did? Well, you go first. You go first. I got a whole thing
it's
now.
it's like the water there is blood. So like they just what like blood is as common as water to her. But then there was like a drought, she had to leave. Um, but also like she's been like rebooted like 17 times. I think Vampirella was only like originally was straight up just like we just want a sexy pinup girl to send to people. And then someone was like, we should make that into an actual character. But
Okay,
that
I
came
looked it
way
up because I
later.
was gonna ask when this character was created because
Oh,
you said alien
it's
vampire. Obviously, I thought of Waffle Press mainstay Life Force.
mm-hmm. It's a little before Life
Um,
Force. It's
yeah,
like
1969,
mhm.
and yeah, so definitely
Yeah.
before.
But Life Force is based on the book The Space Vampires, which I don't remember what year that book was published.
Oh wait, let's see.
70,
Space
76.
vampire.
So,
All right.
but then when is Planet of the Vampires?
That's like 69 as well, I think, actually.
Eh,
Maybe even
must have been
earlier.
something. There must have been something in the air about alien.
1965.
Okay, there's a couple alien vampire movies. Like there's like Planet of Blood and stuff like that.
That's
Um,
awesome. That
yeah.
rules.
Um, but I think Vampirella was literally just made to be like it's a sexy lady and she's a vampire.
Yeah.
I don't think it got much more complicated than that. Uh, then of course you get Wonder Woman, which there was like a Wonder Woman TV show. There's a couple Wonder Woman like movies that like no one remembers that were direct to TV, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, um, what was it? There's a really they tried to do like a comedy Wonder Woman TV show at one point.
Oh,
Uh,
did they?
yeah, it
I don't
was
think I knew
like
this one.
this is like I think it was right after Batman 66 ended. I think the same people that did Batman 66 were like, let's try to do it with Wonder Woman, and they shot a pilot and it didn't work.
Oh.
Like, I've seen it. I remember it being bad. So, like, I think it wasn't as funny to try that with Wonder Woman. But then they did a genuine Wonder Woman movie. TV show. I mean, and it worked. So
Yeah, that
what?
one's. I mean, that's pretty definitively like iconic. You know.
Poor Linda Carter got a cameo at the end of the last Wonder Woman movie, and now that
Yeah.
nothing's happening.
No, I remember because that movie came out 2020 Christmas Day on HBO Max,
Mhm.
in some theaters, and then obviously no one saw it in theaters. Um, I remember because I saw it with my mom. She kind of popped at Linda Carter because it's like, oh yeah, Linda Carter, how fun, you know. And then that's like, I don't think she remembers even watching that movie now.
Yeah. Well, yeah, in a movie that like I basically felt almost nothing watching except for being like, when when is Cheetah gonna actually show up? When
Mm.
is when are we gonna do the one thing the character's known for? And it turns out they did it for 5 minutes at the end of the movie. What was that about?
We will talk about that movie in line
Yeah,
with some other stuff. I do think that movie is like very far away from being an all the way good movie, like even close. There is interesting stuff in there. Absolutely the
there's
wrong people to
stuff.
tackle that movie though.
Yeah, it seems like everyone was on a completely different page when making that movie. Like,
Yeah.
and then there were a couple elements that just shouldn't have been in there at all.
Yeah.
But
Hey, maybe don't label the single Middle Eastern character in the movie. Don't give them the name King of Crude. Um, that's like, I mean, that is just racist. Like
yeah,
that.
it's
That is just
bad.
like insanely bad.
Yeah, there's a lot of bad stuff going on in that
There's some
movie.
shit in that movie.
But
Yeah. Sorry.
ignoring all that, why wasn't Cheetah a cheetah woman?
Oh, because
Because that would have been too fucking fun.
you know what the problem is with both Wonder Woman movies, and I still like the first one, but I do think it's probably best left in the past at this point. The problem with them is that they're totally in line with like superhero movies that feel like they have to set up all the weird shit. And I think now people finally understand like no, just get to the weird shit and tell a story
Yeah,
with it. You
just
don't
do
have
it.
to
Like,
like yeah, like here's the thing. The MCU, they genuinely did a pretty fucking great job of establishing like this is the real world, quote unquote, now that is getting introduced to all these alien supernatural elements. And the audience got excited because there's a sense of discovery along the way. That void's already been filled now.
yeah, how Cheetah becomes Cheetah isn't that interesting. Like, but it's
Yeah,
just
no, it's
funny to
like
watch
she's a
Wonder
cheetah lady.
Woman.
That's cool.
Yeah. And it's like she's very fast and Wonder Woman can't catch her. Like, that's the plot. That's what Cheetah's good at. Is Cheetah the one that like Batman like flirts with while he's in prison? Uh
Yep, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yep, and
that's
Justice
that's
League.
that's one of the best episodes of the Justice League.
Yeah, why do you feel that?
Because there's fucking Ultra Humanites in it.
Oh yeah, that too.
I know what you're trying to go for there, but no, I love the episode because it's Ultra Humanite.
Yeah, he's in a couple. That's why he rules.
Yeah, he like blows up an art museum because he doesn't like the art. Like he's like,
Yeah,
this is so pedestrian.
yeah,
Um,
and then he's in the Christmas episode, and he helps the Flash
that's
to
the
to
same
give.
episode of the art museum. He's
That's amazing.
because
I don't
he's
remember
like
that.
he's blowing it up, and Flash was trying to return. There's like a rapping duck toy. This is what the movies can never capture. There's like a rapping robot duck toy that is like the number one toy for Christmas that year, and the Flash promises these kids at an orphanage that'll get it, but of course it's sold out. So he's like jingle all awaying it, like running all over the world trying to find this thing, and he finally gets it. But on the way back, Ultra Humanite's like fucking up the museum, and in the fight, the toy breaks, and Flash is literally like. Just shoot me in the back of the head, Ultra Humanite. I failed these children. Like, and then Ultra Human, in feeling pity, and because it's Christmas, decides to help rebuild the toy for the children. But he replaces the wrapping with him recounting like famous Christmas literature for the children.
God damn it, that fucking rules.
And then Flash gets him a metal Christmas tree for his prison cell when he goes back. And Ultra Human tries to pretend he doesn't like it. But when Flash leaves, he turns on the festive lights and just looks at the tree and smiles. And
I believe that is also the last appearance of Ultra Humanite in the show, implying that was him turning over a new leaf.
he reformed. The spirit of Christmas saved Ultra Humanite.
Hey, this is why those Justice League writers had their fucking finger on the pulse too. Like the Flash is so vital to a lot of characters like evolution in that show. Like there's that
Yeah.
timeline where the Flash dies and so they all
Well,
go
that's the
like
thing.
they become
That's
evil. Yeah, the Flash
he was
reforms
so
fucking
important in the series. This is true, frankly, for the comics too. But he was so important that in the alternate timeline where he was assassinated, it led to the Justice League turning evil. Like without him, he's the only thing holding the Justice League back from going full evil. Uh, that's a great episode.
yeah.
Um, where he fakes a heart attack so evil Batman lets him out because Batman still like wants to save him. Like they're like, we gotta imprison you, but for your own good. And he fakes a heart attack. And the real Batman is like, how'd you know it would work? And he was like, who can predict you, Flash? And it's like, oh, this show's amazing.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh,
so it's
what
like
a
they
show.
ran
What
out
a series.
female superhero films. I've been rewatching Batman the Animated Series, and I literally right before we started recording, I watched an episode with Catwoman in it. Um, and just coincidentally, and I'm in that spot where there was like a brief period where they were kind of just making up, like they had run out of like kind of the classic villains to do, and they started like trying their own original villains. Um, and there was one that was actually pretty good where, and it kind of relates to this movie where Catwoman gets turned into like an actual cat monster by this like Island of Dr. Moreau type guy. Um, and in the episode, it's just so weird how committed the people were to that series. I know like people are probably sick of how like people being like the Batman the Animated Series was great, but fuck man, it was good. Uh, they're like the other character in that. So the villain is like this Dr. Moreau type guy, and he has other creations. And the other creation, he had made a cat into a like person, and it's like this big like monster cat person who can talk. And it's like they make this character like a really tragic figure, and it's the character's only appearance. And I'm kind of like, why didn't they bring them back? This was actually a good episode. Because he's like, I don't want to turn Catwoman back because like I'm lonely as this cat monster, and but then he realizes he loves her and gives her the antidote, and he's like, I have no home, and runs into the jungle all by himself. And
Wow. I have
it,
no recollection of that.
neither did I, because everyone talks up like, oh, the Mad Hatter and fucking Mr. Freeze, right? Because those are like the great episodes, right?
Mm.
Shit like that. And this was just like oh, this is a character that they made for the show who has no real cultural staying power and was only in that one episode. And it's like, damn, they should have done more with them. You do run into the core problem with Batman though, which is like, especially in that cartoon, he's a much more like nicer guy, and he's like, we can like help you, and that becomes less convincing the longer the series goes on when none of the villains ever got any help whatsoever. Did any of them ever turn around?
No, but that show was
Like,
far less serialized though, so I'm gonna give him
like,
some leeway there.
well, there's the episode where the Penguin gets out and he's like, you know what? I'm sick of it. I'm gonna try and be a good guy going forward. And he's like, I'm turning over a new leaf. And Batman's like, I got my eye on you. But like, he genuinely is trying. But he's like trying to integrate himself with high society. But they're all like laughing at him behind his back. He doesn't realize that like they think he's like a gimmick. So like a woman starts dating him as like a prank. And when he finds out it's not true, that's what sends him back over the edge, and he turns into a villain again. Uh, it's not a bad episode. I just remember the end when he's like in the woman like actually started liking him, but then like it's one of those like classic misunderstanding plots. And at the end when he's like getting arrested, she's like apologizing, and he's like, "Well, you know what they say, my dear. Society is to blame. High society." And it's Paul Williams as the Penguin. It's great. It's just so good, man. What the fuck?
Yeah. Well, do you think the problem with the Catwoman movie is that they had no basis in the comic characters?
They didn't try anything whatsoever based on the comics. That this might as well have been an original person.
Yeah. Like I think we've made it clear we're not purists about that necessarily.
Yeah,
It is just very funny in hindsight to be like, who? Who's in this movie? What the fuck? I mean, you got
What's
Sharon Stone as the baddie.
hmm.
Lambert Wilson, the fucking the Frenchman from the Matrix sequels, is in
Hey, good for
this.
him. Just to really briefly before I forget, speaking of Sharon Stone, did you know that one of Halle Berry's first performances was as Sharon Stone in the Flintstones movie?
Oh my god, that's right.
Remember the Flintstones
Wow.
movie?
Holy fuck.
Why haven't they tried the Flintstones again? I'm not saying they should. I'm
Honestly,
just surprised.
I think because of those movies.
Hey, there was a 5 minute. There was like 5 minutes where uh, what's his name? Seth MacFarlane was going to bring the Flintstones back.
Mm-hmm.
There was like 5 minutes, and then like I think the writer's strike canceled it. But then there's been nothing since then. I guess he's on Jellystone. There's that show Jellystone that's on HBO Max. Do you even know what that is?
I got nothing on that. What is that?
It's just an animated series. It's like very like 10 to 20 minute episodes that is just new stuff with the Hanna-Barbera characters that it's kind of like set modern. I've seen some stuff that's pretty funny as the last appearance of the original voice of Space Ghost from Space Ghost Coast to Coast in it.
Okay.
Because they did an episode where the villains from Space Ghost were going to interrupt the Space Ghost Comic Con panel to because they felt they were being neglected or something like that, and they got
Hmm.
oh, who's that guy's name? Oh, I can't remember him. He's on Twitter. The guy who voices Brack from the that version of
Oh,
Brack.
I don't know his name either, but I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, that guy's fucking funny.
Hmm.
It's a funny character. But yeah, it's it's shocking that there's not an element from the comics, especially when like this is a time when Catwoman had kind of just been rebooted in the comics, right? Like there was
Hmm.
a whole new series that was like a solo series for her, which Um, she had one starting in the 90s, I think in conjunction with the Burton film, right? Like, yeah, she had her own series that ran from 93 to 2001, which is a pretty fucking good run uh, for a comic series. And that's her in the purple suit, right? That was a
Hmm.
big thing for a little bit.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and then starting in 2002 with Ed Brubaker as the original writer, they launched the new Catwoman series. And that's where she has the look I think most people know her for with the black leather and like the cat ears and stuff like that. That's not as
Hmm.
like fetishy as Batman Returns,
Yeah. Yeah, it's
but
like,
as much
okay, how do we package this? Still make it sexy enough, but
yeah
also for kids.
yeah basically. Although when was the last time a comic book actually tried to appeal to children?
Maybe then. That might be it. That might be the last one.
I don't know. I don't know if I can go that far. Let me look at what the
I'm
art looks
stretching here.
like.
I'm doing a Mr. Fantastic level stretch here.
I'm looking at what I'm trying to see like what's the first cover of Catwoman that's just like her ass as she's flying through the air. And, they're being so far pretty tasteful. I'm two covers in. So third
Okay.
cover. She's like doing like a flying kick, and it's like, oh, look at those legs.
Well,
People, man, what are we doing here?
it's two more than I thought it was going to take.
Yeah. And then right before this, the Batman Hush comic is like a year before this movie,
Which is one of the
which is
great comic book runs of all time. Am I
unless you
right?
unless you talk to Batman fans, apparently.
Yeah. No. Okay. So here's the thing. What are your thoughts on it? Because it does seem to be a little more of a controversial series now than I realized.
Here's my take on it. If you were a regular reader of Batman in 2002, 2003, you're probably not gonna like Hush because it deliberately like ignores like continuity and stuff like that. Also, people complain about the mystery plot, but none of Batman's mystery plots ever make sense. Like, come on now. Like, that's Batman doesn't know what's going on. He's an idiot. Because the plot has to happen, right? Like, you
Hmm.
can't just go, oh, hey, but then it was a wizard. Like, I think the Hush plot is pretty solid. Like, it's not like perfect. I think the thing is, without spoiling Hush too much for those who haven't read it, uh, it it's pretty obvious who did it.
Hmm.
and then they throw a bunch of red herrings in, and they give you enough doubt to be like, maybe it wasn't that guy, and then it ends with, no, it was that guy, right? Like Hush reveals who he is in the last issue, but there's like 7 red herrings as to who Hush could be, and then like a lot of people are dead who aren't, but also aren't dead, like right, um,
Yeah. I think
it's
it's a pretty good gateway Batman comic
well,
book.
that's the
I
thing.
think it's
If you
very fun.
if you go to me, like that's the thing. If you go like if you're a regular Batman reader, I can understand you having frustrations with the comic book Hush. I think some of those frustrations are dumb, but I can understand some people having frustrations with it. If you were someone who's like, hey, I want to get into Batman, how do I get into Batman? I go The Long Halloween, Dark Victory, Hush. Read those 3. There's no better 3 series introduction to Batman than those comics, right?
Hmm.
Like, and Hush gives you, because Hush is such a, like every villain appears in it, right? As well as
Hmm.
characters from the greater DC universe in a way that is very accessible, right?
Yeah.
I think it's a good. I think if you don't know who Jason Todd is, like I think we talked about at the top of this episode, if you don't know who Jason Todd is, Hush is a much better introduction to Jason Todd than Under the Red Hood or even fucking Death in the Family, the actual issue where he dies, which isn't a very
Hmm.
good comic. For those who haven't read it, like
No, it's sort of like the death of Superman, where it's like, wow,
yeah,
what a monumental event in comic book history. The actual thing is like not interesting.
yeah. At least fucking Death of Superman is just like Superman punching the fuck out of Doomsday for 3 issues. Like at least there's action in it, where it's like Batman Death in the Family. The plot doesn't make there's nothing engaging in the plot beside Robin dying. Um,
Yeah.
but it's like if you
Like
go
if he
like
had lived, people would not remember it. Other than, oh,
yeah,
remember that one
exactly.
time? you know?
You remember when they did that contest and he lived anyway?
Yeah.
But
But yeah,
like
I don't actually particularly worship Hush. But I also am not a big hater of it. And Jeff Loeb like sucks now, and it
yeah,
sucks
Jeff
that he
Loeb had like a.
sucks.
I think that's why there's been such a reevaluation of Hush is that Jeff Loeb has like really been like embarrassing himself in recent years, right?
Yeah,
Like,
and like, look, his brain broke for like arguably very tragic circumstances.
yeah.
But it doesn't excuse any of his behavior and what he said. But this is sort of like the last era of like Jeff Loeb had like the juice. Like Spider-Man Blue comes out like around the same time or like a little after, I think, and that is also like a monumental comic for a character.
Yeah, he did
Um,
like 3 for Marvel that are all pretty good, where it's like Spider-Man Blue being the best one, obviously, but he did like Captain America White and Hulk Gray, I think was the other one.
hmm.
Um, and then like he did like, but then like he goes over to he's really bad when he does a long running series because like he's Red Hulk and Red Hulk's like terrible, like
Yeah.
that whole storyline in the Hulk, like that was the right off of like World War Hulk, which is like a pretty solid story and like a culmination of a lot of stuff going on in the Hulk series, and like they like almost immediately tanked it. Uh, but no, but like I don't think I'm wrong. I think like because Batman's like pretty accessible, but does have like a long history, right? And I would not recommend like The Dark Knight Returns as someone's first Batman comic, right?
Yeah, neither would I.
Like,
Because my cousin started getting into comics, and I told other people this too. Like, put off Dark Knight Returns for as long as you can as you make your way
mm,
through Batman books,
yeah,
because it hits so much harder when you have like a better read on the character and the history. Like, it feels
yeah,
like, I mean, it's a great like last Batman story in a way.
yeah. And of course, there's 2 sequels to it.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, but you don't have to read those.
and you know, I'm a defender
Interesting
of The
stuff
Dark Knight.
sometimes, but yeah.
I'm a defender of The Dark Knight Strikes Again. It's a total
Uh,
mess, but it's an interesting mess.
Yeah, I mean, I understand where you're coming from because I'm a defender of the single issue Golden Child, which is one of the most insane fucking things I've ever read
Yeah,
in my
I
life.
have not read that, so I should check it out. But here's the thing. I think I'm trying to do some good here, as since this movie is this dog shit. But I'm trying to think of like in terms of like I think if you wanted to get into Batman, who is one of the more accessible ones, so this is a pretty easy one to do. I really think it's like The Long Halloween, Dark Victory, Hush, Batman Year One. I think Batman Year One's a pretty good start, right? Like
Yeah, yeah,
even though
I
it's
would agree
Miller.
with that.
So you probably start with that one. And I do think the Court of Owls is a pretty accessible story for more modern Batman. And I say modern, I think that story's over 10 years old at this point.
Yeah,
But
Jesus.
yeah.
Oh my God,
I
it's like 14 years old.
Yeah, it's I mean it was DC whatever the fuck it was.
New 52.
New 52.
God
Um
damn.
but I do think I think the Court of Owls is a pretty accessible storyline, right?
Hmm.
Um
Yeah, of those
and
stories you just mentioned, Catwoman is either in them or a pivotal part of them.
yeah,
A lot of them.
she's
And
she's Hush specifically. She's like a really big part of.
yeah, and I think that's a good sort of thing to bring up along the Catwoman movie episode, where like Catwoman as a character feels like she hasn't gotten her due very often. Even though
Mm,
people like her, and she's probably the most popular tangential supervillain character, right? Because
mm,
now they got like a whole anti-hero thing with her, which I really like. I don't need her to be villainous. She's a thief. She's not a fucking psychopath,
yeah.
like the Joker or something like that. Like I'm totally fine with the evolution of Catwoman. Obviously loved her in Batman Returns. Loved her in Reeves's Batman. I really would love to see her in all of the sequels to that, but we'll see. I'm fine. I trust him to do it or not do it with her. Um, but it feels like there's not like, oh man, we got this list of like this great Catwoman material to pull from. Not that it's not out there, but it's very rare to hear someone be like, oh man, you got to read this Catwoman run that's going on.
Yeah, I'm
Mostly because she
sure
just doesn't have that.
she must have it though. Like I bet you the defenders really like it, right? Like I bet you the people that read it, there's got to be some Catwoman story that's really good, right? That we just
Hmm.
don't know about. It's like Cassandra Cain, right? Like who even knows who Cassandra Cain is besides us?
Yeah.
Right? Like but like that her Batgirl run is pretty good at the start, right? Like
Hmm.
to the point where like when they totally whiffed her character. It was like one of the most controversial changes of all time in fucking DC Comics.
Hmm.
Uh, but we don't really know. Like it's not like we know that character, right? Um,
Yeah.
like Catwoman appears in Batman #1.
Yeah, she's an OG.
Yeah, she's like it's her and Joker are both in issue #1, which is kind of crazy. Um, and
You
she
know what that
like I
means,
think
right?
what
Public domain.
sure. Oh my God, is that why they did the Three Jokers story recently?
Maybe.
Oh, that's so disgusting. Ugh.
Yeah,
For those
think
who don't
about
know, they did
that.
some dumb storyline where there's like, it turns out there's been three Jokers running around this whole time, which is a terrible idea. And it seems like everyone's just roundly ignoring it. Like, they won't even confirm if it took place in the real DC universe. It seems like
Yeah.
everyone's like, don't, who cares? Don't bring it up. Uh, but I believe Catwoman, like, even in that first issue, Catwoman, like, kind of bests Batman, right? Like, there's a sort of like, there's already a flirtation element in that first issue, and I think she gets away at the end.
Hmm.
Uh, it's kind of like what's that? What's the woman from fucking Sherlock Holmes? Irene
Irene
Adler.
Adler.
Yeah. It's kind of like because like I mean, fucking Bob Kane never met a story he didn't love to rip off. So that could have been what was going on there. Uh, but how about that? The Case of the Chemical Syndicate. That's the first Batman adventure. Uh,
Fantastic.
which I
That's
I
a great
love it.
title.
I recently read Grant Morrison's book, and they write. And remember, Grant Morrison wrote on Batman for like 5 years. He wrote
Hmm.
like a long, sprawling story, and even in the book, Grant Morrison was like, "Yeah, I've read that comic like 4 times. I still don't really know what's going on in it." So, which yeah,
That's
makes
great.
sense. I believe that the story is like wholesale ripped off from a Shadow story.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's why.
Yeah,
It does make sense.
yeah, yeah.
You
I
kind of
mean,
just
Bob
moved around the
Kane, man.
pieces without recontextualizing it, you know?
Yeah, Bob Kane did that shit all the time, man.
Mm.
Um, someone pointed out that like he took full credit. He took so much credit for creating Batman and like never drew an image of him basically. And someone pointed out like he was finally humble when he died because his grave credits himself and God with the creation of Batman.
Jesus.
It says it on his tombstone. Fuck that guy.
Hmm.
Um, anyway,
Well, he had nothing to do
yeah,
with this movie.
here's something. Yeah, like now that I think about it, it's like Catwoman. Even in the movies, like Catwoman, has she appeared the most of any of the villains?
Let me
So
think.
it's let's break it down. You got Tim Burton's Batman. Oh, you got Batman 66. She's in that.
Uh huh.
I think it's Julie Newmar, so that's two.
We're just
You
talking film
got
appearances, not TV, right? Because TV,
yeah,
we got to
just
bring up Eartha Kitt as well.
just we're just gonna do film for now.
Okay.
But shout out to Eartha Kitt.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, you got those two. You have
Anne Hathaway,
the Anne Hathaway,
Zoe
um,
Kravitz,
and now Zoe Kravitz. So and then now
well,
and this
Halle Berry.
yeah, and Halle Berry. So that's five appearances. Um,
I think the only person she rivals is the Joker in terms of most
yeah,
appearances.
so we got Joker is in
The original '66
Bat
Batman movie.
66 Batman, Burton Batman, Nolan Batman. Not you know what? Yeah, Joker's got her beat because he's got Suicide Squad, and then
And two standalones.
yeah, two standalones. So he's got her beat by about one.
Yeah.
So
That fucking
that's kind of
goddamn
crazy.
just and the last three Joker appearance. Oh, you know what? No, he got her beat by two. He's in the Matt Reeves Batman.
Yeah, but they're already trying to pretend that didn't happen. So so who knows who that guy is? He's just Guy who laughed.
It counts. It counts.
All right, sure.
I'm saying this because I think Catwoman should beat the appearances of Joker, and I think we should do better by the
Yeah.
character.
Well, also, like, here's the other issue is, and this is what we're talking about here in terms of Catwoman not getting her due, is that she is unfortunately really defined in her relation to Batman, right? Like, we
Yeah.
both like Hush, but Hush is very much a story about, like the sexual tension between Batman and Catwoman. And another reason why,
Hmm.
like, comic nerds don't like it is that when they were having their little fling in Hush, she was dating a guy in the Catwoman comics. So,
Mm.
which was just widely ignored during Jeff Loeb's writing of Hush. I think that's really the big thing with Hush is that Loeb just ignored any sort of continuity was going on around him at the time,
And now
and
I'm like,
based
I
on
want all of them to do that.
oh well, the other one he did was I think he refers to Barbara Gordon as the only Batgirl, which was and he wrote Hush at the time there was a Batgirl series going on starring a new Batgirl, Cassandra Cain.
Mm.
So, yeah, I feel like that's an editor's job to correct and maybe not Jeff Loeb's, but hey,
Hmm.
uh, yeah, I think that is the thing when I've been going down like a rabbit hole of different comic book people on YouTube, and they're all terrible, frankly. Uh, and the main thing I'm realizing is I give a shit. I don't give a shit about continuity nearly as much as these people do.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, if it happens, if whatever happens is like, as long as it's just like that issue, I'm usually pretty good.
Hmm.
Like, I don't need. Um, Paul Dini wrote the sequel to Hush. Paul Dini, the
Oh.
Batman animated series writer, Heart of Hush.
Oh,
Um,
okay. When did that happen? I don't even know. I don't even know that one.
That's it happened in well, here's the thing. This kind of sucks. I feel bad for Paul Dini. Paul Dini was writing, I believe, Detective Comics while Grant Morrison was doing their Batman run. So Grant Morrison just totally overshadowed him, and Paul Dini did a pretty solid job. Like he Paul Dini wrote like some pretty good issues, but they are very like standard Batman adventures, right? Um,
Hmm. And
Here,
then
just a
Grant
new
Morrison's
version.
over there redefining the fucking medium.
Yeah, yeah. Fucking like Bruce Wayne goes like back to like caveman times in his run. Like, and then Paul Dini's over there just being like, "Yeah, what if the ventriloquist was a girl in this issue?" And it's like good, but it's like it's not that, right? like, Paul Dini was just so good at the villains being like telling like a really tiny tragedy in a short amount of time, right? Like
Hmm.
that was Paul Dini's strength. Is he still writing anything? Like I haven't really paid attention to what Dini's up to. I hope he's
The
done
last
enough
thing, the last
that
thing
that
I was familiar with from Paul Dini was he was part of the team that created the Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon,
ah
which was awful. Um,
I never saw it.
Little did I never finished it. I saw a couple and I was like, this is not good. Even separately from following up Spectacular Spider-Man, which was very good. Um, I didn't know how much worse it would get, which doesn't make it any better. But oh my God, he was kind of in charge of all those Marvel shows that were coming out at the time. So Ultimate
Hmm.
Spider-Man, Hulk and the Agents of Smash,
Oh yeah,
um,
he was overseeing
Avengers
that stuff.
Assemble. Yeah, wow. And then he came back for something called Justice League Action, which is like a much younger
It was that
audience based
it was
Justice
that
League show.
kid friendly Justice League show, which I believe has like some of the last appearances of Mark Hamill's Joker and Kevin Conroy's Batman on it.
Oh, okay,
Um,
cool. Yeah.
yeah, he also he wrote the Arkham games, right? Uh, oh man,
Oh shit, did he?
he wrote the Scoob sequel that never got released.
Oh,
The Christmas themed Scoob sequel. He didn't write the first one, thank fucking Christ. Uh, but he did. He wrote. Oh, he's uncredited writer on Maleficent. That kind of makes sense. Um, looks like a few Scooby Doo uh movies, animated movies. Because
oh,
he
and of
started. He started,
course our beloved Batman Beyond: Return of the Joker.
of course. I'm just
Yeah.
yeah. I'm going through what he did because I'm Paul Dini's good, right? Like,
Hmm.
but yeah, there is a bit of a depressing. Oh man, he was the head writer on Ultimate Spider-Man and Hulk Agents of Smash, which were bad. Like, those were both very bad. Um, what's the new Spider-Man show that no one likes?
Oh, but that one's like for literal babies. Like that's
Hmm.
not. I don't even know
Oh,
the name of it. It's like Spider Man and his friends or something like that.
Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man.
Oh wait, no, no, no. Okay, that's the fully like
It's
YA
the,
animated series. Yeah,
yeah, it's the one that just started airing.
yeah.
Um,
I've heard some people like it, but it is one of those ones that's like it's all the Marvel stuff in Spider Man at
hmm,
once. Like
yeah,
he's not just bitten by a radioactive spider; he's bitten by an interdimensional radioactive spider that Doctor Strange drops when he's fighting someone through portals.
what are we
It's like,
doing?
yeah, right. Like I'm like, it's a little, it's a hat and a hat and a hat and a hat, and it's like just have him fucking bitten by a spider. Like how fucking complicated
Here's
is
the thing:
this?
if you want to do that as your story, don't tell me because I don't care. Just have him punch the Green Goblin. He gets the powers. He punches the Green Goblin. That's all you need to do.
Honestly, is the best solution to all this superhero shit just keep it simple, stupid? Because look at the Catwoman movie. Like,
Yeah,
I was
there's like
complaining earlier, like it's so much and it's so big, and at the end of the day, I don't know who this Patience Phillips character is. I don't know what she wants. I don't know what she needs.
she's just
I
kind
don't know
of
what she feels.
vaguely evil, like or something. Like I mean, she's vaguely like I don't even know. Like
No, no, no. Patience Phillips is the Catwoman in this movie.
yeah, but she's got something going. I don't know. Because they want her to be both an anti-hero and a good guy. Like they
Yeah, she
couldn't
kills
decide,
like a
right?
bunch of people in this. I think.
Yeah. That's the other thing. Was why is it like this new person? Why isn't it Selena Kyle? Like
So then you could have the acknowledgement of Michelle Pfeiffer, which didn't help this
like
movie, obviously. But
yeah, it didn't. Well, it's so dumb. Yeah, it's just I don't get it. Where it's just like literally she's a cat burglar. Have her like rob something. Again, that's I'm going to this Batman animated series, and it's only basically just because I'm watching it. So like that's the real reason for why I'm bringing it up.
hmm.
Um, but like that was a show that was really good at being like it starts as a simple robbery, and then by the end you're like fighting like monster trees or something, and like the tone never broke, right?
Hmm.
Like it always felt very consistent, and the animation obviously you can get away with a lot more, but they kept it simple while still being able to get fantastical with it, right?
Yeah.
And that just seems completely absent from even the movies today where like when they want to get crazy, they still have to have someone like go like, "Wow, can you believe this is happening?" And I'm always like, "Yeah, I paid $10 to be here, asshole."
The
You're-
director has come up in conversation before because of our City of Lost Children episode.
Mm.
The director's name is Jean Christophe Pitoff Komar. He goes by Pitoff. This is the only feature film he made, or this is no,
He
this is
made
one of the
another
only
one,
feature films he made. He made something called Vidocq and
which
a
is
TV
I've
movie,
never,
Fire and Ice: The Dragon
yeah,
Chronicles.
I've never seen VDoc, which looks like one of those weird French action movies.
Well,
Um,
he's very French.
Never a good sign that when I looked at the genre for VDoc on Letterboxd, the genre is listed as mystery, fantasy, action, thriller, science fiction, crime.
Wow.
That's never a good sign.
Oh my god,
Like,
I kind of want to watch that now.
you've either made the greatest film of all time or a movie that's just somehow has a lot of insane things happening in it, but is very boring. Um, it stars Gerard Depardieu, who is a guy who
Oh,
sucks.
oh no. Um,
Uh,
but yeah, Pitoff was a visual effects guy. He worked on my boys Janae Caro films, Delicatessen, Save Lost Children. He was second unit on The Great Alien Resurrection. Um, he was also
I
one of
do
the
not.
directors.
I want to make this clear. I do not sign off on that endorsement. I just want to make that clear. Yeah,
Yeah,
go have fun, but I don't sign off on that.
yeah. This is all I have. Anyways, he was also one of the directors of that Empires of the Deep movie, the long lost, unfinished
Oh
major
yeah,
Chinese film production that was supposed to rival Avatar with like mermaid fantasy adventure shit conceived by a Chinese real estate tycoon. Um, so who knows what the fuck happened there? There was like a bunch of directors that worked on that at some point, and obviously that movie is dead now. But I thought that was interesting. Yeah, the direction of this movie is like both boring and insane.
yeah. It's that terrible middle ground. This happened a lot. Where like this movie will get reclaimed by people as like a cult classic because it's so insane in terms of its direction, but it's so boring at the same time.
Yeah, I
Like,
kind of wish I could get on board with it being like, let's go to like a rowdy screening and watch this, you know? Like that would be
mm.
fun. I don't know if it would be. I gotta be honest.
I
And
will
again,
say
I'm
though,
not
I
trying to
give
like shit all over this movie, but
yeah.
like it's
The
not
one
very
thing I
fun.
can say is that I Halle Berry is like really committed. Like she really wanted I think she really wanted this movie to work and not just in a like I want to be a superstar type movie. Like I think she
Yeah.
saw the fun in playing Catwoman
Hmm.
and tried to make it work and the movie just isn't good, right? Like
Yeah, she's
mo-
given it, you know.
movie's not good, her outfit doesn't make any goddamn sense. Like it's yeah, it's although hey, if I remember correctly, is did not Grant Morrison, Frank Miller, did he try to make Catwoman black in Batman Year One?
I think he did. I think that was the
Yeah,
first iteration of her being a woman of color.
yeah, I believe that was his attempt, and it was basically just ignored after that. Um, I also think he made her a sex worker too, which I think people found controversial at the time.
Hmm.
Um, which I feel like everything he established for Catwoman in that was just roundly ignored, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
Very good comic though, I would argue.
yeah, no, Frank Miller when he knew what he was doing was good. Like at just some point he went insane.
I mean,
Uh,
is that the fucking like are those the bookends to modern Batman? Like start with Batman Year One, read a bunch of shit in the middle, and then you end with Dark Knight Returns?
Um, yeah, it's probably a good one. I would say like yeah, you want to do like those ones I mentioned as like the intermediary stuff, and then you don't want to read all of Batman. You don't want to read like but you definitely want to read like a lot more Bronze Age Batman, and
Hmm.
then you want to do Dark Knight Returns, right?
Yeah.
Like that's when it has like a real kick to it, and then you can start reading, and then like you can start reading the more insane like. 'Cause here's like I don't think Nightfall plays as well if you read it before Dark Knight Returns. because a lot
Yeah,
of
that
like
would be a
this,
weird one.
a lot of the like '90s Batman comics are so clearly a response to the Dark Knight Returns,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that's why like I picked like Long Halloween and Dark Victory are very much throwback stories, you know. Um, the real answer to this is just watch Batman the Animated Series. Like
Yeah.
that's just such a solid show. Um, but yeah, but like yeah, Dark Knight. I'm trying to think of when would you read Dark Knight Returns? Um, let's break it down a little bit because it's actually an interesting question. It's more interesting than this goddamn movie. Uh,
I
like
have one more thing about the movie that I
we'll
absolutely need to
definitely
bring up.
we'll
But
definitely
yeah.
circle back. But I'm just thinking like I don't think you would. I don't think Grant Morrison. I don't think Grant Morrison's run would play as well if you read Dark Knight Returns after it.
I don't know. That's a tough one because again, this is all this stuff isn't going to fit perfectly together anyways. I'm just saying like thematically if you wanted to
Yeah,
try that,
but
you know.
but so much of Batman post Dark Knight Returns is a response to the Dark Knight Returns, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And
So a lot of the
um,
stuff people know, like I would leave out of the must reads.
yeah, but I think the thing people ignore, I think the mistake people make is that you really want to read like the Denny O'Neil, Neil Adams era Batman from the '70s before you read Dark Knight Returns.
Hmm.
Like, I think that's where a lot of the meat is in terms of like, this is what Batman was like before the Dark Knight Returns.
Hmm.
Uh,
Oh, okay. Here's a question. You put the Killing Joke in there.
I think the Killing Joke would be a good companion with Dark Knight Returns because those are like right on top of each other, right? Like in terms of
Hmm.
release. Um, and you know what? For what it is, I know how the Killing Joke. The Killing Joke, I think, is still a good comic. Uh,
It has one. It has the one big thing, but
yeah,
I
mm,
now would brushed up against it too. I'm sure you can hear it back in the old episodes if you're curious, but I've settled on that just being a great comic with you know one thing that's aged terribly.
right. This the thing. The problem with it is that Batman stuff in it, great. Joker stuff in it, great. Commissioner Gordon stuff in it, great. Batgirl stuff in it, the worst thing ever. It's like they didn't even try with Batgirl, and that was partly where Batgirl stood as a character in 1988. But man, that was and then unfortunately ends up being really important. Um,
Hmm.
but I'm just like, you know, it was a good. There's the Legends of the Dark Knight comic that, like, for the first half of it was all like anthology stories,
Hmm.
right? Like those are pretty good, in terms of reading before the Dark Knight. And you know, the actual real secret hack to get into Batman, in my opinion, is you want to read like from the '90s. You want to read like Robin and Nightwing. You don't want to read Batman. Like it's much more interesting watching Batman from the perspective of his sidekicks than from Batman directly for most of it.
That's interesting. I think I would agree with that.
Mhm. Yeah, because I mean, like
Uh,
they have because by the time, especially the '90s, by that point, like Batman is such like an important cultural figure that like there's a sort of stiffness to him because they can't change him too much, right? Like
hmm.
he can only become more Batman. Like he can't become a new guy. Whereas like Robin and Nightwing are constantly evolving and changing, you know,
Hmm.
and their dynamics shift. They become new characters. They have different dynamics. They have different goals than Batman. And it's very, I don't know, I find that stuff much more interesting. Maybe that's just, maybe now I'm at a point where like when I was a kid, I liked reading Batman, but now that I'm an adult, I want to read more about Robin and Nightwing because I miss my youth. So that could be that talking. Um,
Oh, here's another question. Arkham Asylum, Serious House on Serious Earth.
that's
Does
a
that go in
weird
there?
one because that's like just such a, I don't know. That's one where I feel like I would just recommend it to anyone
Hmm.
who's like, if you want to read like an arty comic, because it's just like, that's not, it takes place in no spot in the continuity, right?
Yeah.
Um, definitely don't start with it.
No, 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 no. Don't
Um,
start. Remember, we're starting with year one and we're ending with Dark
mm,
Knight Returns. That's the only qualifiers here. I'm just trying
mm.
to figure out could you assemble like a legitimate, mostly chronological or thematically chronological read of the Batman mythos. I think you could do, if this was a TV show, Arkham Asylum, Serious House on Serious Earth is a standalone episode.
Yeah.
It's a bottle
Well,
episode.
I think Grant Morrison even says like their take on that is that that's a dream Batman is having. I think that's Grant Morrison's logic as to why
God,
Arkham Asylum is so
that's why they're
weird.
the fucking best. That's so fucking
Yeah.
writer brain. Like, oh my god.
Well, that's the whole thing about Grant that was amazing during their run was that they found a way to justify every Batman story as having happened. They're like, it all happened. It was all real. Like even those like basically I think Grant's explanation for like 60s Batman, including the TV show, was that like by that point Robin and Batman had been fighting crime so long and hit in the face with so many chemicals from villains that they were hallucinating the pows and punches that they were seeing whenever they fought villains.
That's the most beautiful thing I've ever heard in my life.
That's great.
Oh
Um,
my god.
Like that's a great
Oh
run, but it's
shit.
also one where I can't go you can't go start there.
Yeah,
Like
hey kids, check out Arkham Asylum, a serious health on a serious earth.
especially because his run of Batman, Batman dies in it. Spoilers, but it's literally called Batman Rest in Peace, so you know what the fuck's up.
Yeah.
And that leads into Final Crisis, which Final Crisis might be the least accessible comic ever written.
Mm-hmm.
I love Final Crisis, but I can recommend it to no one.
Yeah, I remember a friend showed me like when that series started dropping, when that event started coming out, and they were like, this is basically the end of the DC universe as we know it. And I was like, oh, I want to check it out. And I was like, I don't know what this is.
Yeah. Well, that's the problem. It was advertised as that, and then Grant Morrison was like, "No, it's not." But then a bunch of weird things happened. Uh, that is one of the strangest comics ever written, which includes that in order to understand what was going on, you had to read a spin-off book involving Superman that was released in 3D. So, uh, yeah, Grant had a lot of ideas going on.
Oh yeah, yeah. But that's why we love them.
And it's also weird where it's like I go like Court of Owls is like a great entry point, and then unfortunately Scott Snyder's like the rest of Scott Snyder's stuff, which is good, is he like almost immediately pivots to totally inaccessible stories. Frankly,
Mm,
like Dark Knight's Metal, I can't recommend to people.
yeah.
Like it's an interesting story, but it is very much a like you have to be a DC Comics fan to read it.
Actually, you know which one I really like, and it might be my favorite of his run, is
Mhm.
Batman Zero Year.
Zero Year is
I
actually pretty solid. Yeah.
Yeah, I really like that one. Like the fucking I'm gonna spoil it because it's the shit. When he has to like recharge like the heart of Gotham, and it's literally his heart that gets like electrocuted, so it like restarts the city. So he's literally like reigniting the soul of Gotham as Batman and Bruce Wayne. Like that's kind of the fucking shit, you know?
Yeah. Scott Snyder had like that really interesting take, which maybe it's not his, but I always credit him with it, of that like Gotham's almost like this living organism of a city that is designed to break you. Like that it's and because he wrote what's that story? The Black Mirror. Did you ever read the Black Mirror? That
No, no, I
he
never
wrote.
did.
It's the one he wrote before Court of Owls. It's like the only one he did before the New 52. And it's this really interesting story because it was written when that era when Dick Grayson was Batman, when Robin became Batman,
Okay, right,
and
right.
part of it was that there's these new villains popping up, and one of them is the serial killer who may or may not be Jim Gordon's son, and
Oh yes,
it,
yes, yes. I remember this now.
it's like and Scott Snyder's whole thing was like this is a villain. This villain wouldn't have worked if they had gone up against Batman because Batman just would have fucking punched the shit out of him and felt no guilt about it. But with Dick Grayson Batman, he would have he'd have a tougher time for it. And in Scott Snyder's mind, he's like it's almost like the city is reforming itself for Dick Grayson to be Batman to take that mantle. And now like this is the type of villain he would have to face in Gotham.
He was
it's a
really
take I
good
find.
at that.
No, yeah, that's part of why, even though metal is like a complete like psycho mess almost, like it's insane. His ideas are kind of big enough to carry it, in my opinion.
Hmm.
Um, but
Well, because I really,
the trade off is it's a totally the metal stuff is totally inaccessible if you aren't a DC Comics fan.
yeah, God, I gotta wrap up on the Snyder talk, but like, because then he's got, let's see, he does Court of Owls is the first big one, instantly iconic shit. Um, then I forget what he follows it up with immediately, but
Death
then
of the
eventually,
Family,
Death of the
Death of
Family.
the
That's right. The
Fam,
Joker comes back and is like, I'm gonna fucking wreck
which
shit, and it has no
yeah,
main character deaths. It's like a metaphorical death, which is a very cool idea. You know?
very cool idea, but it's one of the like 17 attempts they've tried to make the Joker cool again, and none of them have ever worked.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
like,
Not
that
really
probably
his fault, but yeah.
comes closer than most, but it's still not like it's still like a whatever, right?
Yeah, and then there's Super Heavy where like it's Gordon who has to take on the mantle because Bruce Wayne
Yep.
gets amnesia after that last story, and it's like a giant robot bat suit, and I'm like, this is kind of lame. And then you read it and you're like, all right, this is pretty interesting considering how lame the premise is. And then you get like Doctor Bloom, who's like he's got a really great like Slender Man style design, and his powers are like to give other people superpowers, and he becomes like a power broker, like a literal power broker, and it's like,
Yeah.
what a fucking maniac Scott Snyder is. I really like him as a writer.
Snyder stuff is really good. There was a part where like it felt like he had a little too much gravity around him, but he did good stuff at the end of the day. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and he just did a shit ton. Like it was
Yeah.
just and it was like that thing of like he was coming in at like probably the worst time possible to come in to write Batman, right? Where it was like the new 52 had just hit and the other comic that's happening is Grant Morrison like finishing up their run on Batman, right? Grant
Mm-hmm.
Morrison was doing Batman Incorporated at the same time. I can't that is not a position I envy anyone being in. And he managed to carve his own place out in the middle of all that, right? And
Yeah.
he introduced Jarro. Do you know what Jarro is?
Yeah, Jarro.
Jarro, Starro in a jar. And Jarro
And
thinks
I love his
Batman's
little it's like a Robin outfit, right?
yeah, 'cause he thinks he's Batman's son.
Yeah.
Like, so he wants to be Robin to like make his dad happy.
Yeah.
And he's a little cute little guy.
Yeah. We
They
love Jarro here.
they find him in like a hyper dimension prison in one of the metal comics. And he's got like a little prison suit on, and he's like breaking rocks with a hammer.
God damn it. Yeah, the movies will never
Yeah,
get
it's
close to that. But they
yeah.
should.
I mean, never know. Fucking what's his name? James Gunn is the type of guy to do something like that.
Yeah,
So
he mentions Batmite in the first season of Peacemaker, so who fucking knows?
I have such conflicting feelings about the possibility of Batmite ever showing up in the
No,
movie.
Batmite and Mister Mrs.
Mixix Splitnik. I didn't say
Mix,
it right, but that's close enough.
yeah, Mike Zapitlik. I remember because I can't pronounce it, but I remember the pronunciation because he is responsible for the Supergirl Flash crossover in later seasons of both shows.
The
And you
problem
find out,
is
oh, he doesn't want
the
to kill anyone. He just wants them to solve their problems through song and dance.
problem is Gilbert Gottfried is dead, so we can't. The perfect actor to play him is gone.
Yeah, that's true. But anyways, yeah,
He's
you should have Batmite and Mike Zapitlik team up.
Mixix Splitnik. They did.
Sure.
You ever read World's Funnest?
No, no, I haven't.
It's from like the late '90s. It's written by who's that guy? Evan Dorkin. Do you know who that is?
Even Dorkin.
Uh,
The name sounds familiar.
he
D O
wrote
R K
that
I N, right?
Dorkin. Yeah, he wrote Welcome to Eltingville, that the angry nerd comic. Um, and he
Okay,
wrote
yeah,
Space
yeah, yeah.
Ghost. Yeah, he's good. He's a good writer. He wrote a comic called World's Funnest, which is Mr. Mixisplitnik and Batmite teaming up and accidentally destroying the multiverse.
Yeah, there's your
and
Justice League level threat right there.
and it's them basically going from universe to universe trying to fix everything.
Yeah, see, that's amazing. Do that.
And it's very short, and it's mostly just silly, but like they got like a bunch of other artists like jump in to like do like there's one point where they end up in the Frank Miller universe, and I think Frank Miller did a quick drawing for it, which is cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, like they got Alex Ross, Frank Miller, fucking Bill Jimenez, fucking Alex Ross, all those guys to jump in and do a drawing. So Bruce Timm. Um, it's a fun comic. It's very short, but it's very fun. So none of that has
Yeah,
anything
they
to do with Catwoman. We
no.
talked about nothing. Not we didn't talk about anything Catwoman related.
The cinematography is by Thierry Arbogast. Do you know who they are?
No.
They worked with Luc Besson up until 2019,
Well,
so they're an
what
enemy of
happened?
the state.
What happened? What happened then?
Well, they shot one of your favorite films, Anna.
Which one's Anna?
It's a Luc Besson assassin movie. I remember you fucking hated it, and I'm sure it's fucking awful. I was
Oh,
kidding.
I think you're mixing it up with a different Luc Besson film I hated.
Oh, okay.
um,
Oh
there's
no.
what is it? Let me look at it because it's a very bad movie. What
Well, you
is
look it
it?
up. I will mention other people who worked in this movie. Unfortunately, sorry everyone.
Angel
Uh,
A. Angel A
Angel
is the one I.
A.
Yeah, it's about like an angel woman that comes to Earth and falls in love with a guy. Uh, it's that guy has a thing for hot, sexy women who are emotionally undeveloped. That Luc Besson.
Read into that what you will. Um,
Yeah.
the music is by Klaus Badelt, who worked with Hans Zimmer and Terrence Malick. Uh, Thin Red Line, Curse of the Black Pearl, Prince of Egypt, Gladiator, um, Equilibrium, another post Matrix movie from this era. I actually think the music's pretty good. If you check it out by itself, it's you're like, hey, this movie sounds kind of epic, and then you watch it and you're like, it's never that. Unfortunately, like I really am sorry. I wish I could come out being like this movie kind of is like a trash masterpiece or something, and it's just it's too lifeless too often. But I want to commend my friend Logan Kenny, who wrote the definitive review on this movie back in June of 2018. He wrote, Wild, the surrealist fragments of a comic book adapted by someone who heard the title and took mescaline before sitting down to write. The editing walks the thin line between completely incompetent and kind of genius and ends up being a mixture of both. There's no rhyme or reason, just ugly early 2000s aesthetics, false digital backgrounds, and erratic movements. None of the cinematography choices make sense. The camera is misplaced and janky. The environment's inconsistent and fake. The lighting cheap and haunting. It's a nonsensical half-baked disaster. Each line read plays like a total camp with actors who don't know how to capture it. Except for Sharon Stone, who fucking kills it. And it ends up being nothing less than a goddamn train wreck. But there's something so intensely fascinating about how some grade A trash like this got funded by a major studio and released nationwide. It feels like Eurotrash directed in a backlot in Eastern Europe somewhere, and yet someone had the confidence to get this into actual cinemas. God bless the film industry, man. Fucking hacks, all of them. Pitoff should have directed a Star Wars story. At least there would be something to talk about. Also, Catwoman straight up murders like a bunch of people because she's a cat revived vigilante who hates the corrupt beauty industry that assassinated her and also owns Benny Bratt at basketball in front of little children. This is a strange flick. Would play brilliantly if you were tanked. End
There you
review.
go.
Thank you, Logan.
Well, Logan, you should have done this episode.
Yeah. Oh, I'm on the letterbox and I see I even commented 7 years ago, Jesus Christ, that this is the best review of a superhero movie ever. And I stand by that statement.
There you go.
There's also a pretty decent animated movie called Catwoman Hunted that was released in 2022. it was I watched it because it was written by my boy Greg Weisman, who's responsible for Spectacular Spider-Man, Gargoyles, and my favorite Young Justice. Um, and he said it's like, it's tangentially like in the universe of Young Justice. He can't say it fully is, but he was kind of the DC animated guy for a second there, and then they just like stopped hiring him, and I don't know why. I've not heard anything bad about him, so I don't know. I think he's a very underrated writer, and that movie's like a decent time, and they should bring back Young Justice for one more season. That's what I think. But anyways, I don't really have anything else than the Catwoman movie.
What are the chances they bring Young Justice back?
Look, it took them 10 years last time, but they did it.
Didn't stop them. Didn't stop them. So
yeah,
get fucking Superman's bisexual son on there, and then it'll be a big hit.
Yeah, maybe. A lot of fans didn't really like the last season, and I would agree. I think the last season is the weakest, but I disagree that it's bad. I think I've seen.
Did they get like a little too strong with it? I've only seen the first 2 seasons of Young Justice.
Well, I think part of the problem is that season 3 is like fucking. It's perfect. That's peak. It's perfect for that show. It is the perfect season. Perfect beginning, middle, and end. Bookends, full circle, setup, payoff. Like it's firing on all cylinders. And season 4, they do something that the fans wanted, and then the fans realize they didn't actually want that. Where they focus on the core like 6 original Young Justice members, right? And each one, or each pairing rather, gets like a set of episodes that are like their own standalone arc, and they start off very small scale. And because of that, the pacing, I will give it that, is a little more lopsided. And there's some
say
fallout.
This about Young Justice kind of had that continued problem. Like, it worked mostly, but they kept running into the problem where every season was like a narrative reset. Like, and the first few episodes of every season kind of struggled, in my opinion. And it sounds like season 4 might have struggled the most of any of them.
Yes, I would definitely agree with that. If I had to rank it, season 3, 2, 1, 4.
That was my only real problem with it, was that like it felt like by the end of season 1 they had just gotten into their rhythm, and then you start season 2 and there's like a totally new dynamic, right? Which, if you're binge watching, isn't as fun,
Yeah.
And for me, like, it was one where like I learned like, oh, I have to take a break before I start season 2, which isn't a bad thing, but yeah, it changes how you watch the show.
Oh yeah, definitely. And yeah, season 4, I will say, especially rewatching it, because I kind of breezed through the other seasons earlier. I was like, yeah, season 4 took a minute to get through. There's a ton of great shit in there. Like they bring back Clarion, who hadn't really done anything in 2 seasons. He was kind of like just off in the distance, and he has like a really fun arc. They do the shit I love when a rival or antagonistic character has to go to the heroes to be like, I need your help. Like I eat that shit up. And
There are so many things that are just recurring in superheroes that it's just, if you go like, that seems dumb, and it's like, no, that's what Diego and I like about this crap. Like, we love it when the villains have to team up. Look at me talking about the fucking Ultra Humanite Christmas episode. Like, that's so dumb, but it's the best. Like, that's what I want out of this crap.
Yeah. Who should have Halle Berry's Catwoman teamed up with in her movie?
Well, actually, I was going to say, what would be a good Catwoman movie? Like, what would be the good plot? Like,
I mean, you just gotta make it a heist movie.
Yeah, but like, here's the thing, it's a heist movie, but it should be like, it's got to have like an angle to it that's superhero related, right? Like, it's got to have something. And that I don't know. I don't know what the answer would be.
Yeah, because then I wouldn't want it to get, again, like too big. But I also want it to have the weight of like, no, Catwoman rules. Like, have some fun here, And I honestly wouldn't want Batman in it either, so she could stand on her own.
Actually, here's my idea. It should start with a heist, but it should be like the first Mission Impossible movie, where the first mission everything goes wrong, and then Catwoman has to go on the run afterwards, and she's being chased by Batman, the authorities, and like the people who set her up.
Okay, all right. I like that.
She's got to steal something to like prove her innocence.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's a good idea.
There you go.
Yeah. I
Why am
was
I
just
not
gonna
in charge
say
of?
do
Why am I
do
not in
Out of
charge of
Sight, but with
everything?
Catwoman and Batman.
I mean, that wouldn't be bad either.
Yeah. But you see, Catwoman is the George Clooney role, obviously.
I just think it would be fun to do a Catwoman story with Batman in it, where Batman is the antagonist, right? That like he's after, like he's not like a villain, but he is after her. So like he's a threat because we don't really get that perspective in any of the movies.
Hmm.
Because it would be scary if fucking Batman was after you.
Yeah. This is the last thing, and then we will wrap up because we barely did talk about the movie. Apologies, everyone.
I
Um,
wanted to shut. I want to say. I wanted to shut up the Harley Quinn cartoon, which is very fun. I feel like we needed to shut something female led during the Catwoman episode. Uh, so check out the
okay,
Harley Quinn
yeah,
cartoon.
yeah. That
Is it is it
I like
is
that
it
show.
canceled? Is it is it? Are they still doing it? I don't even
I
know.
I don't
Huh?
know. I've brought it up before, but season 5 was like a real return to form. Like
Yeah,
maybe arguably the best season of the show, and I didn't expect that. I've liked the last two seasons, but you kind of felt it, like when a show has run its course, and you're like, all right, what else you got? This season felt like okay, you can actually revitalize this every season if you wanted to. But it also worked as like okay, this is the last season as well. So we'll see. I know James Gunn likes it. He has a cameo in the third season because he just wanted to be in it because he's like a nerd about it. And he was tweeting about it before he got the job at DC, which was a like pre Suicide Squad release. So that was interesting. So who knows if he likes it? Maybe it'll stick around.
it could be fun.
Yeah. The
Um,
one thing I will say is that they do kind of drop the ball on Catwoman and Gotham City Sirens because they kind of teased that in season 4, and they clearly
mm,
didn't know what to do with it. So they're like, yeah, they had a falling out, and it's like a flashback at the beginning of the fifth season,
yeah.
and then that's it. And I was like, oh, okay, well,
I feel like Gotham City Sirens is one of those things where like the title sounds good and then it never works.
maybe that's it.
But I've never read the comic, also written by Paul Dini. So I've never read. Paul Dini wrote like the half of that.
Mhm,
So I've never checked it out. Wrote it
mhm.
with Tony Bedard, who's also a pretty good writer. Uh, although fucking both of them worked on Countdown, which is possibly the worst DC comic ever written. Uh, is Countdown the worst DC comic ever?
It's if it isn't, there's some fucking serious
Like
competition then.
I think what pushes it over the edge is that it is 52 issues long. Like because of how it was designed. Whereas like there's been bad comics, but like they're at most it's 12 issues usually. And Countdown lasted 52 issues. And then was roundly ignored by everyone. Jimmy
Yeah,
Olsen
fuck
falls in love
it.
with a
It
bug
might
lady in
be.
it.
Yeah, it might be. Fuck, dude. Damn.
That's the one where it was so bad that in I think Booster Gold, uh there's like the chalkboard that has all the like time stuff written on it, like for time travel. And they just wrote in the corner of the chalkboard, ignore countdown.
But all right, I think that's about it on
Yep.
Catwoman, the motion
Yep.
picture.
It's a movie you
Um,
can roundly ignore. I hope it gave you some good outside of here recommendations for shit to check out. Um,
yeah, yeah. Let's see. I want to reiterate that I love Halle Berry. Not just because she's one of the most beautiful women on the planet, but what is like what are the great Halle Berry movies? I
um,
know she's not had too many at this point. Um,
Cloud Atlas,
Cloud Atlas. I mean, that might be the best movie she's in.
even though the movie has yellow face.
Even though the movie, yeah, she fucking rocks in John Wick 3.
Yeah, she's really great in John Wick 3 where like you do kind of like miss her in 4 even though like those movies aren't like connected in that kind of way, but it would have been nice. It'll be nice if she ever pops up again, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Kind of felt like she could have had a
But
spinoff, frankly.
I mean, maybe I'm surprised they didn't try considering they keep trying to do that, right?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Although maybe they'll stop now. Apologies to Ballerina.
Did that movie bomb though?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like I didn't really care.
Okay. Oh, you never
Yeah,
saw it?
137 million on 90 million. That's not good. I mean, I didn't care to ever bother to check what happened with
Oh.
it. Uh, oh well, that ain't good.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, she's Storm in the X-Men movies. She's good in the X-Men too.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
again, like unfortunate. It's unfortunate who made those movies, but X-Men 2 holds up, man.
I know.
Sorry,
It's
everyone.
fuck. It sucks. It's so
Uh,
fucking good. It sucks. I was wrong for a while about it. It's a good movie. That
and she's
sucks.
in Last Boy Scout, even only for 5 minutes.
Yeah,
But
she's good in it. She's got
yeah,
charisma like immediately.
yeah, it's like one of those where like I feel like it is kind of a mistake, like what happens with her because it's like, oh, she's actually great. Like I feel like they didn't realize they had such a good actress for such a dumb performance, right?
Yeah.
Well, for such a small role. Um, yeah, like unfortunately she doesn't have a ton of great movies under her belt, even though she is good. Like,
Yeah. I mean
uh,
that again, that's one of those things that's a credit to her though. People like her now, regardless of
mm,
the movies. There's actors like that where it's like, nah, maybe they're not great. Like, look, fucking Adam Sandler has that reputation. It's like, oh, we love Adam Sandler. His movies, no, we like him.
yeah, yeah, pretty much. Uh, she's in that movie where Bruce Willis stalks her.
What? Which one is
There's a
that?
movie called like there's a movie called like Perfect Stranger. No one remembers it. It didn't do very well, but I remember being advertised a lot. Um, it's just Bruce Willis is like stalking her.
Hmm.
It's not very good.
Oh
Um,
well.
James
I hope.
Foley directed it, director of the 50 Shades sequels.
Oh shit. That's
So
tough. That's
yeah,
tough.
it's not good, but what are you gonna do?
Yeah. Yeah. I hope she gets movies worthy of her talents soon. Again,
Mm.
because she rocks.
All right. You tell me they brought back like every schmo for these other Avengers movies, and no one's being like, let's get Halle Berry as Storm back.
Is she not in the next Avengers? I think. I
It
think
do,
they.
it's not listed on her filmography.
Ooh. Ooh.
I mean, it could totally be something she's. I don't see it listed on her IMDb either.
Goddamn. Fucking. What fucking dog shit?
Do
Stupid
people
fucking
do people
movie.
not like her as Storm? Like, I don't know what the consensus is. I feel like they're.
I think people recognize now. It's like, look, we should probably get like a darker skin actress to
Hmm,
represent that character now. I think
yeah,
we know
but
that now going forward. But
that's an
right
unfair thing
now,
to put against her, frankly.
yeah, no,
Like,
no, it's not.
but that's like
I'll
I think
say
I feel like
this.
all the fans had like a big problem with all of the casting in the X-Men movies, regardless of the film's quality, right?
Hmm.
Like, like none of them really match their comic book counterparts, right?
Yeah,
The funniest being Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, who has now basically defined that role, right?
yeah. Oh,
And Hugh Jackman looks
fuck you. Channing
like
Tatum's in the next Avengers, and she's not. Fuck
that's
off.
that's embarrassing. That's frankly embarrassing. I mean, maybe
Oh
she
my
said no.
god.
Maybe she said no. Like, who
Yeah,
knows?
maybe.
But
Yeah.
I doubt it. But yeah, that's pretty embarrassing because he never even was Gambit. Like,
Yeah. Which is, from what I understand, the joke of that movie. And I'm gonna give him that. That's a little funny. That's a funny idea.
yeah, go fuck yourself.
I'm not gonna watch it. I'm just saying.
Mhm.
Um, yeah. I guess it's kind of an open secret now, but like when they made those announcements for the chairs and stuff like that for the Avengers Doomsday cast, right? And they're like the reveal. They were like, "Oh, I guess I'm in it." Like some of them were like, "Oh, okay, sure, great."
That was one of the comments we got from what's his name, Alan Cumming, who's apparently back as fucking Nightcrawler, even though he's 60.
Yeah. Well, they're just gonna
Like,
CG his action scenes, and you know what? Let Alan Cumming get the fucking bag. That he's not the
yeah,
problem.
and Nightcrawler was my favorite as a kid, so I will be happy to see him. But
Yeah,
like, um,
yeah. And he'll just say
just
whatever too, so I really respect him.
yeah, but also get a young guy to play Nightcrawler. What are we doing?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, they have to say goodbye to the Fox X-Men franchise for the seventh time.
so, we didn't even need to say goodbye to it the first time.
But then, what was Days of Future Past for? What was Logan for? What was Dark Phoenix for? What was New Mutants for? What was Deadpool and Wolverine for? What was Deadpool 2 for? If not to say goodbye to our beloved franchise.
It's like promising to clean our room, but we're just not gonna. All the toys are just gonna stay on the floor.
Anyways, that was Catwoman.
We're bad at this.
You know what? I've heard other people talk about movies. At least we brought up interesting shit before.
Yeah. People like the show for some inexplicable reason. I do
Yeah, I
not
think.
like seeing that Benedict Cumberbatch is listed as in Doomsday, but in like that paragraph at the bottom that says he's in it.
Mm,
Don't like that.
mm, mm. I'm not crazy about it either. Um,
What is that fucking movie gonna be? God damn.
I have no fucking idea.
Like really, like what
Who
like
fucking
is it
cares?
just gonna be a parade of cameos? Like
Yeah. Because
I
those,
mean,
frankly, those are the ones that have made money for them. So, like, logistically and financially, they have no reason to try anything else, right? Now, you and I, with brains, are like, that sounds awful. But in
mm,
the moment, I bet it's going to get people really excited.
yeah,
And then
people are
people will
talking about the
realize.
movie.
Yeah.
But
Maybe
I
they'll
it is one
realize
where like
after.
I'm going to skip opening weekend for that movie. Not to just be like I'm protesting the continued destruction of our culture. I just don't want to be in a theater where people like scream and clap whenever a guy shows up.
Yeah. Yeah.
When
I mean,
70-year-old Kelsey Grammer shows back up as Beast. You know, Beast is considered the first male sex symbol of the Marvel Comics universe.
all right, Matt, where can the people find you?
Apparently, they got a lot of fan mail about Beast when they turned him blue in the comic.
Knowing what we know now about society, I guess that explains a
I
lot.
mean, look, women like monster men.
Yeah.
It's not, it's not that weird.
You should
That's
have
why
heard
it's.
what the stands were saying in the lead up to the Venom sequels on TikTok.
Oh, you know what? I'm kind of glad I don't know.
Oh, there's some shit. We don't need to get into it. Matt, where can the people find you?
I'm at Emperor Otien on Blue Sky, the website that's collapsing all the time. Apparently,
Oh, is it?
no, just everyone on Blue Sky's dumb.
Oh, okay.
They're like, this Blue Sky will never be as successful as Twitter, and it's like, yeah, that's why I'm on Blue Sky.
I mean, at least there's not Nazis on there.
I mean, there are, but not as
Oh,
many.
pfft, never mind. Links down to
But
everything
yeah,
else for me and the
they've
waffle
been
press
all
below.
they've been all pissy lately about people joking about someone getting shot. I don't really know what's going on, but the
Oh,
mods on
okay.
Blue Sky were a little upset about it. I don't know. I don't know. I
Well,
wasn't paying attention. Did something happen last week?
no, I don't know. I did hear reference to people saying that Blue Sky is sort of like if you were in a place run by hall monitors. You know?
I definitely don't get that vibe.
No. Okay. Well.
Unless it's like hall monitors were like, you know, like how a hall monitor would be like, "Where's your hall pass?" And you're like, "I'm good," and you just kept walking, and they couldn't actually do anything because they had no authority because they're just
Hmm.
another student. So if that's the comparison they're making, then yeah, it's kind of like that. But I don't
Yeah,
know.
I think so.
It sounds a little more derogatory than that. Not that I'm defending
Anyways.
the integrity of Blue Sky, but
Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe. We have been professionally unprofessional.